Class full of a lot of information, and this information is packed, jam packed. It's probably not going to be the most fun class that you've been to, but it's going to be, to some of you, it may have some impact. Writing this class, I probably wrote like 3 classes worth of shit, so I chopped it down into my time, and I'm sure Nana has just as much shit that he's chopping it down to. So I want to get right to it. So everybody at home, buckle up, get your pen and your pad, your notes, and get ready. So let's get to the first slide.
That's interesting.
Josh, you got the other screen. Grandpa Josh.
All right. So we're in a state of emergency. As entrepreneurs, we're in a state of emergency. As leaders, we're in a state of emergency. And here's the sad truth. About 90% of us ain't gonna make it. Maybe higher.
Where's Bond, son?
10% of us are gonna make it. So that means 90%, 90-ish percent ain't gonna make it. Ain't gonna cut it, ain't gonna foot the bill into entrepreneurship. Sad numbers. That's why we're in a state of emergency. Which side are you on? The sad part about the 90% is not because the 90% isn't good enough, intelligent enough, talented enough, capable enough, skillful enough. In the wrong era, in the wrong time, wrong city, Jim Crow era, slave times, not that they grew up in any of those times. Simply because of their psychology. Fuck, that's crazy. Something that's changeable, something that's movable, malleable, correctable. That's why 90% won't make it. That's crazy to me. You mean to tell me that if I grew up in the fucking 2000s, where I can walk by white people in Oakland and they move out your way and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, everything okay?" Or they move out your way. I can build a business online without nobody ever seeing my face. I can never blame slavery, being black, nothing. And I'm still not gonna make it because of my psychology. What the fuck is going on? How? Why? What are we doing? We partying? We kicking it? What are we doing? That's, to me, the most heartbreaking part. Is that it's not because you grew up you were born in 1920, daughter of a slave, and you were brilliant in the mind. And couldn't do shit about it. And whatever you came up with got taken from you. Or you grew up in the Jim Crow South. We here. And 90% of us ain't gonna make it. Next slide. Now, you gotta understand, you are compromised. All of us are compromised. That's why we're in a state of emergency. We are fucking compromised as a people. That's Shabisha's word. We're compromised. All of us. So no one person is more compromised than the other. We all have the same exposure to whatever virus there is out there. We all have the same leaks in our boat. We all have the same threats. We are all compromised. We're all compromised. Next slide. Now, before we get to this, now let's read this first.
The current, can you all hear me? Yeah, you can. The current of our society seems as though it's determined to get you to lower your standards.
Time out. So, it's commerce's job to get you to lower your standards.
Come on, talk about it, bro.
That's how companies make money. The lower you lower your standards, the more I can come in and fill that gap, that need. If I can get you to stay on the couch, there's so many businesses that I can provide that can do everything else for you. That's money. So you can't hate the player. That's my job. You got think tanks sitting thinking, what can I do to get you to not get up? DoorDash. What can I do to get you to not leave your house? Amazon. What can I do? But I gotta go grocery shop. Instacart. No, Instacart. But I gotta find, I want to meet somebody. Facebook. That's our job as businesses, to fill voids and needs, and we prey on your laziness. Now, that's the game we sell. That's not the game that we take in. Keep going.
Your standards are attacked every single moment of the day. Judge this, eat this, say this. Rest longer, take an easier path, sleep in, spend more, save less. You don't have to be so disciplined. Smoke this, drink this, pop this pill. Enjoy, just get surgery. Look at this, skip step 4. Skip step 4 easy payments. And over time, slowly, you look at yourself in the mirror and you are poorer, unhealthier, more addicted, further back than you have ever been. But this time, it seems harder than before to get to your goals.
Come on, man.
Bruh. This is that's our job as marketers, as business folks. It's a game. It's a game. And you have to figure out where you are on the board. Who are you on the board? If I can get you to lower your standard enough where I can come in and fill that void and it becomes an addiction for you, I'm eating. I'm a billionaire. Hey, try this coffee, but it's not regular coffee, it's gourmet. Some of y'all need Starbucks now. Y'all need it. Some of y'all need it.
Is that lowering or raising that?
You answer that question. I'm not talking standard in terms of standard of coffee that you drink. I'm talking your standard in terms of discipline. If you can reason yourself to say you need something that's really unnecessary, you got played. You got played. And if you defend it, you even, oh man. Now I ain't got to pay attention to you. Y'all gonna fight for it. That's crazy. That's crazy. Next slide. Oh, there it is. You're being manipulated at the highest level. At the highest level. I gotta have my so-and-so. I gotta have this. When we say we gotta have something that didn't even exist 6 years before or didn't exist 10 years before, we got played, manipulated at the highest level. I gotta have mine. We are leaders, y'all. Again, we're in a state of emergency. 90% of us fucking ain't gonna make it. Maybe more. That shit hurts. Just understand that. Next slide. Now, does anybody know at what degree you can boil water? 212 degrees Fahrenheit. 212 degrees Fahrenheit is a degree at which you can boil water. What if your kids are hungry and starving and you're trying to cook, but your pilot just won't get that hot, but your kids are starving? Will it make an exception for your kids and boil at a lower temp? No? No? What if it's what if it's freezing outside and y'all freezing to death? Is there any time where water on earth will make an exception for anything? No. No. Because you know why? That's the standard. It's law. You can't change a law. You may be able to supersede it with other laws, but you can't change that shit. 212 is 212, not 211, not 211.8, not 210. None of that shit. Some things in life are laws. And I don't give a fuck how cute, how pretty picture, how we explain it, how many panels, how you draw it up, how many clubs are around it. If you don't hit 212, that shit ain't boiling. So what do? You got to meet the standard to boil it, right? You got to meet the standard. To be a successful entrepreneur, there's laws you have to follow. Laws. And it ain't no getting around the laws. None. I don't give a fuck how cute we are, how this we are, how many things we talk to, how this. You can't cute your way to the shit. You can't mouthpiece your way to it. You can't manipulate your way to it. An entrepreneur that's scaling and growing has to follow certain laws to get there. It is unchangeable. So, next slide. So if you come to a class, an entrepreneur class that's taught by entrepreneurs who've been in this game, been to hell in this game, came out of hell in this game to get some traction to a space where they're able to share their information and translate what these books and these podcasts are saying into our world so that we can understand it and digest it better so that we can get better and get there faster. And we notice that the folks is drowning. We in a state of emergency. It's danger. And people are calling and asking for help. How do you want us to say it? How you want us to tell it to you? Hey, get down. Get down. True story. Here's a true story. No, this shit sounds crazy, but it's absolutely true. So, my dad had a hit out on him at a certain point in time in our life. It's the reason why my mom and my dad went, ooh. So one night, we watching TV. I forget what show. Sitting around watching TV, the whole family. My dad peeks out the window. Heard some screeches, peeks out the window. He screams at the top of his lungs, "Get down! Get down!" We all dive on the ground. As soon as we all dive on the ground, you hear boop, 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 boop. We all sitting there till everything stops. I peek up. My dad was in the Korean War. Something must have clicked. He's having an episode. He's rolling around, screaming and rolling, and you can't get close to him in those moments because you might be a Korean. So you just gotta sit back and let things subside out until he hits reality, right? Why did he scream? Why did he scream? Because his family, the people he loved, life depended on it in that moment, right? If this was 2023, there might be some people who would be like, why are you screaming at me? That hurts me. Why? Why the tone? Why the anger? How'd you want him to say it? How'd you want him to say it? Hey, get down. Would you mind getting down? Hey, you guys, there's some trouble. Don't mean to offend you, but can you please just get down for a second, please? It is mind-blowing to me. Our job is to watch. We love the fuck out of y'all. Our job is to watch. And when you come for help, well, I got to tell you to get down. I got to tell you it's emergency. I got to tell you shit's falling. I got to tell you how you want me to say it. How you want me to tell it to you? How you want me to do it? Hey, get down. When we're in a state of emergency, we're in a fucking state of emergency. Tell me to get down. Scream if I have to. If I can't hear you, tell me I'm fucking up. Tell me all of it, quick. I need to. I'm woo-woo, so sometimes my woo-woo things be tingling anyway, so I'll get down in the middle of a fucking party. Like, what the fuck you doing? Man, shit. Here it comes. Boom, there it is. See, I told you. Hey, how do you want it? How do you want it? We're leaders. We're top level. We're the Navy SEALs. Shit is not gonna be fruity and fun and all the time. And we're in a state of emergency. We ain't there. But in order for us to get, you got to break the bullshit and understand that the seat that we're sitting in comes from a place of so much love. So much love. So if I say, get down, or hey, get down, or hey, I need you to get down, all three of those come from the same place. Let's read this slide.
As the world around you becomes compromised, if you do not have a resource to ground you to reality, you will soon lose your grip on what it takes to actually win.
Okay, so you use us as a grounding rod. We're your grounding. When you go out there in the world, you're going to get all kind of different types of responses and interactions and people saying shit. And to some, an entrepreneur is the greatest thing they've ever seen in their life, right? Because you have the guts to build some shit. You have the guts to go out there. You got the guts to risk it. And in their mind, they could never do no shit like that. So if you're around people that all they're doing all day is telling you how great you are, and coddling you and telling you good. If you don't come for some grounding on occasion, then over time, your ass is going to drift out and you're going to lose sight of reality. You got to check in with ground. You got to. You got to have somebody who could check you. You got to be checkable. You got to have somebody who's saying you fucking up. You got to. You have to. Because this ain't a game, especially when we're in a state of emergency. Imagine a boxer, 12 rounds with no corner. No corner. Every time they ring the bell, he just sits there and waits with nobody in his corner giving him insights about what is going on. In your mind, you could be winning. I'm winning, right? I got some good shots in. But you didn't feel your ass getting whooped the whole rest of the bout. And you sit down like, I'm winning, right? And if in your corner says, hey, no, we down, bro. You need a knockout. Or you down in the cards. Make this adjustment. Get down. If you lose in a championship fight, how do you want your corner man to say it? Hey, get down, man, duck. Just duck, man. You'll be all right, duck. When you've been getting your ass whooped the whole fight, and he can tell that you are not fighting at your true capability and capacity. You need more than logic. Any of us who have been here around some time know that there's a pyramid, right? The ascension of effectiveness, and there's motivation, inspiration at the bottom. It is a tool, especially in something like a fight. Well, you know, if you swing left and you do a corner in the 45-degree angle, no, man, get your shit together. Get your shit together. You're going to lose this fight if you don't get your shit together. What? Oh, shit. Okay. All right. Even if you're mad at me, I'm going to get out there now. I'm ready to go. We see in y'all fight. This is a fight for your life. Entrepreneurship on the side of success changes your life. Changes your life. On that other side, you got to crash and hit another rock bottom if you're doing this full time. You got to crash. And we don't want to see that. That shit don't feel good. So I got PTSD from my crash. Hey, no. Don't do that. Change it. Time out. Stop. Because I know what it's going to feel like when you fall from the motherfucking sky, however high you got. Keep going.
Where are you?
Okay, stop. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you right now? In comparison to where you want to be. Where are you? Financially, mentally, spiritually, in your business, relationship-wise. Where are you? This is where you want to be, and this is where you are. Where are you? Because that's reality check number one. Where are you? Where did you start? There's another question. Where did you start? Where are you in comparison to where you want to be? Can you face that? Can you talk about it? Can you think, okay, this is where I am? How does it make you feel when you think about it? How does it make you feel? Next one.
Why are you here?
Mr. U. But why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you in this class? What is it? What is it about the class that makes you keep coming back? Why are you here? What are you trying to get from it? How much are you trying to extract from it? If I'm sitting in them seats, like I sit in that seat over there, shit. What's Nana say? What's the most important? Time, attention, money. So my question is, how much can I extract in the time that I'm here that adds value to my life and my business? How much can I extract? So if I'm listening to a man who's a multimillionaire and another man who's a multimillionaire, how much game can I extract to use to go apply in my business? How much? I'm gonna try all that shit. When I sit there, I'm a student. Boom, got a eureka moment from that shit. Damn, that's dope. Notes. That next morning, the staff, okay, y'all, we're gonna try something new. This is what we're gonna do. Need you over here, you do this, you do that. Period. You know how much game I got from this class? You saw my number, you saw my numbers when I first started. You saw my numbers. A lot of the game I learned it here. I learned it here. I'm from the East Oakland Yacht Club. From the dirt. No degree. Where do I get my education from? Here. The books I read here. I'm not playing because this ain't a game to me. This ain't a game to me. I got a quota every month. And if I don't make it, I'm mad. My quota is 160 G's a month. If I don't make 160 G's a month, I'm pissed. What did we do wrong? I remember when $10,000 a month was a lot of money for me. A lot of money for me. Where did I learn that? I hadn't even scaled yet when I started this. I was still figuring out where I was going. I hadn't scaled yet. But somebody started trying to get into scaling. Reading scaling books. I'm like, perfect timing. Let's chop it up. And I soak this shit like my life depends on it. Because guess what? It does for myself and others. Next slide. No, keep reading.
Your reality has been subsidized for so long that when you connect with the reality,
Ooh.
it seems harsh and unbearable. You fight, you run, or you freeze.
So, the reason why Nana and me are here, first of all, it's not for it ain't because we trying to, what do we gain from being here financially? Our reason for being here is because we feel like it's a responsibility on our part to contribute to our community. And you know why? Because we're in a state of emergency as a people. So it's up to the people who found some sorts of freedom, even if it's small levels of freedom, to help others get free. But sometimes y'all act like y'all don't want to get free. Because you know what? 90% of y'all are not going to get free. Damn. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. Because I want it so bad for y'all. Like, so bad. I want it so bad for y'all. And I know this man does too, because if he didn't, he wouldn't have created this shit. But when it's almost like you're floating, you see the land, you're close to land, and you're floating. And then over time, you keep floating out. And you say, oh, land's over there, I'm good. Oh, land's over there, I'm good. But this just feels good to float. And you close your eyes because you feel good floating. And one day you open your eyes and you cannot see land anymore. And now when you can't see land, you don't know what's north, south, east, west, where land is, where to go, the sun, nothing, because you ain't took no nautical classes. So you fucked. And this whole time, every single week, we on your helmet. This is my best work this week. This is my best work. They gonna get it now. Oh, let's try another angle, because they gonna get it now. Let me try another angle. Of saying the same shit. But, ooh, I don't, no, that's, so you fight, meaning you argue, you defend, you fight. Hey, okay, yeah, thanks, I gotta go. You Tone Vic me. That's how Tone Vic used to do me. Soon as you get to the gut of some shit where it start hurting, oh yeah, thanks then. Yeah, I got it. Yep, thanks, I'm out. Tone Vic, you know. He don't do that shit no more, but that's what he used to do. And I'm like, you brought me to lunch, bro, and our food haven't came yet. I'm fucking with you, but. Or you freeze, you just sit there. You just give a dead ass look where you just kind of leave your body because you don't want to hear what the fuck we saying. Even though we saying get down. Get down. Oh shit, get down. Get down. Oh shit, get down. How you want me to say it next time? I'll say it the way you want me to say it if you listen. How you want me to do it? Give it to me. Will you please hold my hand. Let's pray together. How you want me to say it? There's no malintent in none of this shit. Next slide.
If you had to hire a bodyguard and your life depended on it, how dangerous would you want him to be? Why?
Can I get some, anybody? Anybody? She wants Suge Knight. Anybody else?
I want all the records blacked out. That's how dangerous you are.
All the records blacked out. If your life depended on it and you had to hire, so what about you're not being inclusive? What about hiring you have a man, how about hiring a woman? Oh, I get a laugh? See, and you guys body shame and stuff like that. Like, let them be, overweight, as much overweight as they want, as long as they can say they can do the job. No? What about LGBTQ? They gotta be inclusive too, right? No? Oh no. Why is that? You Josadi,
Oh yeah, I was saying I want the same people who popped Osama bin Laden.
that's Navy SEALs.
Yeah, Navy SEAL, like you were saying there.
That's Navy SEAls. But here's why. Next slide.
The answer comes from the capabilities of the threat.
If I know there's a Navy SEAL out there, then why the fuck would I find somebody any weaker? I just compromise myself. If my bodyguard was a master in nunchucks in East Oakland, why is he not good enough? It's because the threat is way more dangerous than that. So a lot of us can't correlate this with entrepreneurship because we're so caught in the fluffiness and the cuteness of the surface. But underneath the surface, I don't give a fuck if you baking cakes. There's a cake baker out there that views you as a potential threat. That could take potential food off her plate. So she coming for your ass. She coming for your ass. So how good do you have to be? How good do you have to be? Well, no, it'll be fine. You have to match the capabilities of the threat. You have to be that good. How good do you have to be? And better. That's the world we in entrepreneurship. I don't know what the fuck, like what world some of us think entrepreneurship is. Is it not gonna work? We gonna die on the vine. Like I said, 90% of us will. Partly because of the lack of this understanding, this concept. Some of y'all got me fucked up too. You think I'm like, oh, Cord is just, he's so cool and nice. I'm a motherfucking savage under this. Like, fuck with me and see. I'm a savage under this. This is what I've developed and trained and meditated into. So you get the surface, matured, book read, practiced version of the best version of me. But underneath this shit, please, I dare you. Because you got to. Because you got to. You have to as an entrepreneur. You have to. People got to talk me off of shit. Especially when it comes to the business. So you have to look at it the same. And I don't mean, you have to look at it the same. And I don't mean in terms of the violent element. I mean in terms of your skill set as an entrepreneur. Your tools as an entrepreneur. You're talking about getting into the pros when you want to become a full-time entrepreneur. You're talking about getting to the pros. Entrepreneurship, period, is the pros. When I was a kid, after our parents split, my mom, we moved to 64th and Mac, right around the corner from you, right across from the cemetery. In my mind, in the 80s, I'm like, we moved to hell. Literally, motherfuckers get shot and you just drag them across the street and throw them in there. That's what my mind was telling me. Not saying that happened, but that's what the stories, because it was weird times and it was like dreary and jungly, right? So 7th grade, I said, Mom, don't trip. You ain't got to buy me school clothes no more. You ain't got to buy me lunch money. I got it. I'll take care of it. You got too much on your plate. I start selling candy. On the way to the store, that same store that's still there, I would hit that store before I went to school. I went to Elizabeth Sherman. I fill it up with candy, $2 worth of candy. Go to the store. Hey, anybody want? At the end of the day, I have $10, $11, $12, right? And that was lunch money. And that I would stack the rest for school clothes for the summer. But guess what happened? They had fundraisers at the school sometimes. They have fundraisers where the school was raising money, certain things was raising money. I'm a cute little kid. Guess what they did to me because I was fucking up their fundraisers? Pulled me into their office. You can't do this shit no more. Why? It's harmless. You can't do this shit no more. You're fucking up our fundraiser. Because if you selling them candy and we trying to sell them candy to raise money for the school, you crossing game. I was a threat. It don't matter who you are, what level you are. If you're doing it part-time, quarter of the time, full-time, the minute you step your foot into entrepreneurship, you become a threat to somebody. Know that. Now, you ain't got to think about it all the time, but know that energy. Because you're taking business from somebody that has a similar company from you. They choose you. So how good do you need to be? How good do you need to be? Come on, man. How good do you need to be? You got to be as good as you possibly can and continue to get better at every moment because we don't know as much as we need to know to get where we want to go. So we got to keep fueling ourselves with information and practice and game and trying until we croak. Period. The answer comes from the capability of the threat. We all know about systemic racism, right? As black folks. It's a thing, ain't it? There was a doozy on us, wasn't it? Slavery, doozy on us, wasn't it? So we automatically know that there's other threats that's in our past already that other cultures may not have to deal with in this time. So how good do you have to be? Fucking good. Hey, like I said, man, we shoot the shit for 5 minutes. Hey, man, you see that girl? Oh, man, she's beautiful. Oh, man, yeah, that lasts 5 minutes because it always turns into some business conversation. Every fucking time. Did you see this dumb show? Yeah, I saw that dumb. Did you see? Oh, man, that lasts 5 minutes because, we got to get it. We got to get it. Our life depends on it. We know what we up against. Some of y'all playing, and the ones that's playing are like old school horror movies with that one black person in it that dies at the beginning. You playing. You go on. Bye. What happened? You know the fuck. You know what happened. You was playing. Next slide. Yep.
It's regarding a few slides ago, but when you were talking about what are you trying to get out of the class, like what are you trying to retain? And I definitely don't try to play when I come into the class. I try to be very serious about being present, trying to interact, and then also trying to take away from things. But a lot of times I feel intimidated because I don't know how to measure my growth. So I have like clear growth, like I'm way different than I was when the class first started. But then y'all drop so much game and so many gems that I don't know if I'm doing enough. Like I always feel, and I don't know if this is like the psychological thing of like I already baseline don't feel good enough, and then I come in and I bust my ass and I try to go harder, but I don't really know how to measure. Like, am I going hard enough? Am I doing enough? Like, how do you have that conversation of measurement with yourself to figure out if you're taking things seriously enough?
Can I get some of that? Let me pull this up real quick. Let me see. What's your social security number again? I just played. That was a funny part. I was joking. I was just joking. I just thought that sounded really good. Let me look at your records real quick so we can go over this. I was talking to Shakira's mom. As you guys know, I'm going to have a kind of a discussion today around religion, Abraham, and we're just having a cool conversation. And we're just talking. I'm just sharing some things with business. And I'm always kind of like guarded what I share with her because a lot of old school thinking. So I was telling her that, the problem with black folks is we all want to be heroes. She said, there's a scripture for that. And I said, well, what is it? And she sent it to me, and we share what it says. And it's going to answer your question. In Proverbs 15:22, I swear, Jamar, I promise you I will jump across this table. So it says, this is kind of tight though. I want y'all to show you that this is not just modern knowledge or modern business. These are old principles because business is based upon aligning with the principles, the reality, and quite often we're aligning with principles of entertainment, which is TV and social media. So the scripture says this, and it's so much fire. It says, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors they succeed. This is again. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Huh? Proverbs 15:22. Let me say this real quick. This is not redirected. This is a lot of people. What I realize in this class is everybody hates feedback. Y'all can't take it. Y'all run from it. You don't even know feedback culture. You don't even know how to prime feedback. We done taught this feedback thing 1,000 times. Do you realize if I give you feedback, you don't know where the fuck I'm coming from? You shouldn't. If you do, it's not called feedback. Do you realize that feedback sometimes is going to hit the third rail? Do you realize feedback sometimes will irritate you, but that's your problem, not mine? And so one of the reasons we don't know how well we're doing, because we're moving in secrecy. We're not moving openly amongst our peers and having conversations and receiving feedback at all times to the point that you create feedback-friendly environment. We create free feedback hostility. So if I give you feedback, I got to put on all my green beret. I gotta have my gun ready to shoot back, or I gotta be prepared to just dash and leave you right there while you're still talking. That's too much. So guess what happens? The people who can give you feedback becomes onlookers, and it's so subtle because it could be something like you just get a facial expression when somebody says something like, "What are you talking about?" That's feedback. You should know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's for you to go investigate and explore, right? But what happens is that, let me show you how this happens. When you have defensive undertones or you hide from feedback, then your feedback is so spaced out and so in highlight spaces. It only happens when, hey everybody, I want to open myself up for feedback. I want everybody to chime in. Motherfucker, ain't how it works. If I walk by your space, I look at you like, hey, why you got those shoes on? If you can't take that feedback, by you spacing it out because you're trying to control how you feel, then what happens is that what you do daily is it's not being recorded by anybody besides you. No one's watching you. I'm not gonna watch you because why would I watch you for? It's gonna create frustration. So in the end, I just put blinders on. You don't exist. Then when you come in my presence, it's like, Nana, can I ask you a question? I'm thinking, this is trash. Then and let me tell you how you hide. There's multiple ways people hide. Some just never ask a question in class. The last time their hand went up in class is because they thought their underarm smelled. Right? Second thing. Or you try to play the best student of the class award. I'm doing. So you try to flood me with all this shit you're doing well, even though I'm reading through it going, trash. But I'm not gonna have a conversation with you because you're too fucking sensitive. Or if I talk to you, I might not see you for 3 or 4 classes. Or if I talk to you, but you don't get but you told me you only made $1,000 last month. What the fuck? What but is there? Just shut the fuck up and keep asking more questions and get more feedback. Don't try to get perfect feedback. That just shit fucks me up. If you don't tell me exactly what I want to hear the way you want to tell me, you disrespected me. That's not called feedback. Feedback is I'm freely trying to help you. I'm not trying to read the code in the auto book on how to talk to your punk ass. That's straight up. And that's why I say I hate social justice, because you're so fucking fragile. If I don't put the words, if I don't stream the words correctly in a direct order that makes you absolutely comfortable, or if I don't wait for perfect timing when you're totally open to communication, because today I'm happy and no one should talk to me, or I'm mad, don't talk to me, or I'm sleepy, don't talk to me, or I'm busy, don't talk to me, or you know what, it's Wednesday, don't talk to me. This is what you motherfuckers say to me. So when he says a lot of y'all not gonna make it, it's because you're too fragile for the process to work organically that helps you develop this knowledge because if you're reading it and you're not getting feedback, you'll understand. I already automatically know if I say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, some of y'all heard Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I know the fuck because that's what just happened. That's what the brain does because you have a different past than I have. I'm in this motherfucking field shooting every damn day, watching motherfucking bodies drop, and you at home in a video game. Pew, 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 pew. So when I say Monday, Tuesday, you have no context with the fuck I'm saying. So the only way you'll get context is we just freely open up dialogue and we're talking. But once you have to start putting those filters on me and walls and obstacles, I am not going to become a special Green Beret expert to get to your punk ass. Straight up. So, and this is not just me. People in your fucking circle, if you're doing it to me, imagine what you're doing to everybody in your circle. If you that motherfucker that walk around and you just looking like for the pop circle to be like, go, you go guy, you go girl, oh my God, you fabulous, you are trash. You're fucking trash. Let me just answer one more question. Kaja, you said something in, online, I was on the way to class, but this is all tied together. You said, is it okay to receive crowdfunding to start your business? And you asked another question, it's the same context. Why do you have to struggle to be successful? Right? That's what you asked today, I think, or a couple days ago, something like that, right? I just saw it today for the first time. You know, I'm not online like that. Anyway, so today happened to me. It's the same fucking question because friction qualifies you to sit at the table. Without friction, all your egotistical, weak-ass beliefs will stop you from growing. Friction helps you change. You don't have to be broke to get the friction. But when you take crowdsourcing, you're removing the friction that makes you better. When you first go out there, that's why when I say I fucking hate this goddamn, when y'all go to these motherfuckers, they tell you how to run a business and you ain't sold nothing, that's fucking trash. Why is this, I'm being, today is the day. So it's fucking trash. You know why it's fucking trash? And straight up, because when you go out there to sell this water and no one buys your shit, it makes you go back to the drawing board over and over and over until you figure out how to make this bottle better, make the water taste better, fucking how to sell better, how to market better, how to communicate better, how to show up the best time of the day, who the fuck to talk. You learn so much knowledge from the nose. But when y'all get these motherfuckers to remove the nose and give you $10 motherfucking $1,000 or 20 motherfucking funky ass, punk ass dollars that can't even be gone by tomorrow, and you think you know this game, and then us who've been molded by friction, we've been molded by the heat of the fire. And you come to us with your cool ass, I can think just like you. If you don't shut your punk ass up. I'm giving it 100% real. I'm gonna get in for there and be nicer in a minute. But fuck that, I'm a student for right now. This shit is soft. It's some fragile ass shit. The reality is that this game that you in, life ain't never been fragile. Y'all been watching too much fucking TV. I'm talking about just 60s and 70s. Black folks will tell you this shit was real. Motherfuckers couldn't walk on the same street as white people. All of a sudden, you motherfuckers don't watch TV and keep watching motherfuckers celebrating one day of their life, and now you think the world is just soft and all buttery. So realistically, you're gonna have to get some motherfucking strength behind you. Stop being so fucking fragile. The reality is that you gotta be able to sit down and be like, yo, because here's the thing. If Court came to me right now and gave me some advice about my business, I can't say everything gonna make me smile. Fuck wrong with you. I'm not super, nobody like that. But I guess what? He ain't gonna never know that shit. He ain't gonna never know. And I'm not gonna talk about what he said to me and it upset me. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk away. I'm gonna see what he go, could he be right? I don't see where he's coming from. Now I'm becoming an investigator. I'm going to investigate everybody. Hey, do you know this about my business? Because somebody told me this about my business. Do you see the same thing? Do you see the same thing? I'm not going to talk to people, my close circle. I'm going to talk to people who see me from like afar, who's watching me, who get a chance to interact with me in certain ways and say, yeah, you kind of doing that. I'm like, oh shit, I had no idea. That's how it happens. All this going to the people who are too, broke everybody around you. They so fucked up. They don't even want to tell you that the sky is blue. You say this, you be like, it's great out there. They're like, yeah, I think it's great too. Shit. You got them on pins and needles because you don't custom out so many fucking times. This gangster shit that we do in our hood, all this and all this gangster and all this. Me and Court, if y'all would just be the fly on the wall, you see two men acting like we monks. I'm receiving any kind of conversation he's bringing my direction the same way in the reverse. All the brothers in my circle, I can say, yo, that shit was trash, bro. He don't be like, oh, as a man, I don't think I'm comfortable with you talking to me like that. He'd be like, yo, what's wrong? What did I do wrong? Because in the end, we realize here's illusion, going back to that scripture. Read it one more time. Apologize to those I cussed, and I'm going back to scripture. Plans fail for lack of counsel. That means you are out here thinking you know everything. But with many advisors, that means a lot of people giving you feedback, they succeed. Out.
There you have it. Here's another news flash. We are not professional speakers, advisors, counselors to entrepreneurship. We are entrepreneurs who are dedicated to using our resources to contribute the best way we can. So sometimes it ain't gonna come out right or perfect or all the way. And we entrepreneuring. So I've sat in this class on a day where I lost 20 G's in one day and taught. So if I was a little quick to leave or a little light, then man, that's how shit go. But I gotta go so I can cuss in my car. Cause we out here doing the shit. Winning, losing, tying, getting our ass whooped, going after it. We entrepreneuring. That's the risk also we take when we get up here. Cause we know it comes with scrutiny. Well, what you doing? Well, let me see your place. Well, let me see how much money do you got? Well, let me check out your shit. Let me go to your site. So it's not enough. So it's one thing to just be an entrepreneur and build your shit. But now once you get in front of a crowd and speak and try to give game, it's gonna be scrutiny coming back. Not that you asked for it, you're trying to help, but that's what comes with the shit. So sometimes it ain't gonna be perfect. How it come out ain't gonna be perfect. But know this, fill it with grace, knowing it comes from such a place of love.
Absolutely.
Know it comes from such a place of love. We love the shit out of y'all.
Absolutely, always.
So we are here to be leaders. We're teaching y'all to be leaders, and we cannot let up on the standard of leadership to make you feel better. How you want me to tell you to get down? How you want me to do it? Bullets coming right now. How you want me to do it? Excuse me. How you want me to do it? Bullets flying right now. How you want me to say it? That's acceptable to you. You dead. You don't even get to talk no more. So if I say, get down, oh shit, you cussed. You cursed. And you screamed at me. How disrespectful. Understand this. Any leadership position, you talking Navy SEALs, right? What percentage of the people who apply to become a Navy SEAL actually become a Navy SEAL? Does anybody know? It's less than like 7%.
I think it's like, they do like a class of 200 and only like 500 make it.
Exactly. Buds training is 200 to 300 people. At the end of Buds training, only about 5-6 people make it. Yeah. It stands for something. Navy SEAL. Stands for basic underwater, blah, blah, blah. So that means you're around 3% of the people, and it's not just Joes who walk up off the street to try to Navy SEAL. They're already Marine, they're already Navy and Marine, they're already military, top of their craft. And out of those 300, only 6 or 7 people make it. Why? Why? Because when they need to go in the middle of the night and drop somebody out the sky in the water to go assassinate somebody without no fucking complaining or saying shit and disappearing in a dark night and finding their way back home their own way, they can't lower the standard. Because that's real life shit. And we be in our bed, sleep, and living life, and we don't know that that's even happening. But in entrepreneurship, this is what we do. This is what we do. I got a funny ass story. So my daughter's mom, when me and my daughter's mom first start hanging out, and I go to her apartment, and we chilling, whatever, talking. So we end up talking about whatever, like we on the subject of her ex-dude. So I'm like, yeah, so what's up? Yeah. She's like, yeah, some of our air do. I'm like, oh, for real? That's weird. What did he do? What did he do? He was like, oh, yeah, he was a Navy SEAL. I'm like, he was a what? He was a Navy SEAL. I'm like, oh, for real? How'd y'all break up? Like, y'all broke up on good terms, right? He's like, nah, I ain't seen him in like 6 months. He just disappeared. I'm looking out the window. About to go lock one of the windows. Ain't shit I could do. Because him the baddest motherfuckers on the planet. What I'm going to do? Because you have to be at a certain caliber. You have to be at a certain level, at a certain standard. And the government can't lower the standard because it's y'all too strict. It's too rigid. They can't lower the standard because the end results still have to get done. So we're leaders. Y'all leaders. So you don't get mad at us because we're not lowering the standard. Next slide. So this next book is a conscious leadership book. They're going to send it out on which exact book it is because there are like 4 or 5 conscious leadership books. This is the one we're going to be working through for the next few months. It gets a little happy and fun sometimes, but I ain't on happy and fun right now. We on getting it done. But it'll be conversations that we can have about it that will be enjoyable. But this is the book, Conscious Leadership. Any questions on everything that we talked about up until this point? Kaja. Her mic on? Try again. Here, change mics. We can fix it.
I don't ever get mad at y'all for the information you get back. That's what you come here for, right? And I think it's no secret, like my biggest work in this class has been my relationship to feedback. And a lot of what Nana said resonated with me, particularly you do things in secrecy, right? Just so that you remove the friction point off the table. But when you get feedback, like for example, the relationship you have with Nana, when you get feedback, is there like a point or a rhythm where, okay, you gave me this feedback, and so now it's time for me to go enact that in the things that I'm doing so that you get to see your application of it, your ingestion of it. Sometimes I have thought, if you just keep getting feedback, am I really learning versus are you just being fed the next line and the next line and the next line?
All right, good question. So it didn't always start off that way. I used to not like feedback either. I used to actually, my skin would crawl when I got feedback. Literally. Skin would crawl. Because here's a story I would tell myself. I worked so hard to get to this point. Nobody knows what I've done to get here. He doesn't know me. He don't know what I've been through to get here. And for him to just stand here and give me this bullshit ass feedback when he don't know anything about me, my skin would crawl. But you know what would happen is nothing. I would stay in the same place. I'd stay in the same place. And it wasn't until I had a mentor who was massively successful and a black man that really could shut me the fuck up because of what he can't tell me that, a lot of other people were like, they don't know my struggle. Our struggles was the same or worse. And he had 20 times, he was making $20 million a year at the time. So he would say, and he was harsh as fuck. You talking about this ain't shit. This ain't shit. He would tell me words that he would tell me that I fucked up with words in English that I would have to go look up. What does that mean? He would say, the first time I heard it, "You are making egregious errors." The fuck? Egregious. Oh, that's worse than bad. Oh, shit. So and we would get into these mugging contests because I wanted to punch him. So all I could do was just stare at him like I wanted to fire on him. So at least he knew I wanted to fire on him, but I'm not going to fire on you. So I would just give him just a look of death, and he would give me the look of death back. Like, that don't do shit to me. You're still fucking up. And so slowly that cured, over time, years, it softened me. And it took time to soften me to where because if I would have answered it without this context, then it would have sounded like, yes, I hear feedback, and the first thing I want to do is go apply it. That's not how it started. Over time, and then it wasn't until I start trying the things that I disagreed with. The things that I agreed with is easy, but when somebody tells you something, gives you feedback, and you're like, that's stupid. You don't know my business. That's stupid. And they say, just try it. And you try it, and you get a win, and you're like, oh shit, I done threw away a lot of those in life. If I won here, what about all the other times where I didn't agree, but the person giving me the advice had the credibility and the capabilities to give me that advice? I just didn't like it. So now I started slowly looking, oh man, this is the part that I don't agree with. Maybe the brother can't explain it eloquently. I'm that way. He's much better at explaining shit as to why. So if he says, hey, go left, and you're like, what? The thing is right. And he's like, yes, I know, but there's this, and all these other things that you have to go left. Me, I don't have as much eloquence. So I'm like, fuck, go right, go left, man, shit. Well, why I gotta go left? Because there's some shit out there. So you're like, that wasn't good enough answer me. Even though you know, I just came from there. I just came from there. You know, I just came back from there. But because I couldn't explain it to you in an eloquent fashion, you're like, oh, that wasn't a good enough explanation. I'm not gonna listen. So it starts with just building the muscle and trying. And I try, like, when I listen now, I listen to what can I implement? What can I implement? What can I change? What can I try? What small sample size can I try? Try that out on. So if my business is this big, what small piece of my business can I put over here and try it to see what happens? See what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying. So when you apply it, right? Let's say you applied it in February and it worked. Great. You took that feedback, you applied it, and you worked. Now you're going to do something else. You have another conversation with Nana. He gives you another piece of feedback. You have another conversation. He gives you another piece of feedback. Where do you, from a timing perspective of where you apply those, where's the space in, I got this feedback and now I'm applying it so that I know I actually learned those things. I'm actually able to implement them versus Nana told me to do this, so I'm going to do this.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. You're saying in terms of recipe and understanding. He gave a recipe, right? Within the recipe, there's understanding. There's a why, right? Why? So if he comes and says, raise your prices, right? I checked your website, price is too low. You need to raise your prices. So I'm like, okay, I'll see you later. And just raise all my prices. Guess what's going to happen? Nothing. Why? Why do I need to raise my prices? Because this, because that, because this. Try it. Try it. Try one product. Just bump it up. But before you bump it up, you have to raise the value in the customer's mind, because price is arbitrary. So once you learn the theory behind it, you're like, oh shit, price is arbitrary. All you got to do is raise the value in the customer's mind, so that in their mind, even though you raise your prices, you're spending less than the value in the perceived value in their mind. Oh shit, this is game. I'm on it. So you talking about time? Shit, you give me 3 things that I could try. That night on the way home, I'm already trying shit, implementing shit, going after just a sample size. Why? Because my life depends on it. Our life depends on it. And I'd rather you go overboard than underboard. I'd rather you go too much than too little. I'd rather people say you doing too much than you not doing enough.
Let me get a little bit of that.
Yep.
Let me say this too. When I give feedback, I see you as a leader of your world. So when you receive feedback, it's a smart process. It's not a parent to child process. So if I say, you're messing up in this area, you need to improve this here. How that's done, only you understand. What can't be done in your restrictions, only you understand. It's up to you also to kind of use some intelligence in the feedback. Like, oh, are you looking at my last week when you came to my gym, there was no one there? Yes, and maybe last 5 times. Oh, did you know you came at 3:00 and that's when we actually closed? Oh, I had no idea, right? It could just be that subtle, or it could be, or you, because what it is, okay, when I get feedback from people, I don't go say what you got to say and then try to act like a quiet monk. This is not television. This is reality. I say, hey, give me some insight where you're coming from. Because I don't know what that means. Like, give me some of the what you're seeing and what you're translating. So when I walk away, I have enough evidence to start my investigation. But if you just take, and then as I try something, this is how feedback, it has to be, when I say you can't make it a situational thing, it has to be, I grab the phone 2 days later, like, hey, I tried this the other. I don't quite get this. Where did I get that from? Because I'm trying to gain ownership. I'm not trying to make him my parent. I'm trying to use his knowledge to gain ownership of what his insights. So my goal is to walk away from him with my ownership of what he was talking about, not me constantly going, great guru, what can you do for me? So it's not a servitude. It's not a parent to child to parent role. It's more or less like you're the leader of your system I'm talking to. So I still expect you to lead these solutions, not just do what I said.
Yeah. Any last questions? All right, so next week, I'm going to go back to the court that everybody fucks with. And we gonna continue to rock and talk about conscious leadership. I know, so I'm not gonna do that slide. So we'll start with that slide next week. All right? Huh? Yeah, they're gonna send it out.
Say yes, say yes. She said, do you need a sermonic solo?
I don't know what that is.
Do you?
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah. Look here, watch yourself. See, but you gonna sing for me, missionary.
I was going to say, you should ask her to sing.
She should like, say yes.
I don't know what you come to do, but come to praise His name. Lord. I don't know what.
He wrong. You know you're wrong. Did you get that slides, Josh? We good? Okay, good. Shabi, should you get the extra slides too? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Okay, everybody's ready to go. My poor Danielle, we had a day off, so she thought today was Tuesday. And she outside chilling. I was like, Danielle, what's up with the slides? She says, oh, I be damn. So, bless her heart. I love me some Danielle. Let me preference tonight that tonight is not going to be an anti-religion discussion at all. It's going to be it's going to be more or less a conversation showing the impact of religion. And the things I'm going to talk about it's easy for your brain to kind of run to the conclusion that I'm somewhat challenging religion or the Bible. And actually, the Bible is in alignment of this class because, of course, the Bible has a lot of amazing messages. And whether you guys know it or not, when I'm looking at scaling and systems and looking at the way the world works, the Bible means something totally different to me. Because it's got so much wisdom in this book that I don't think any of us in our lifetime will ever understand it. And so I had heard this discussion discussing the impact of Abraham and how it affects us economically, politically, and socially. And so tonight, just hold back the temptation to try to weaponize anything I say, because once I get to the end, you'll see where I'm going, that this is going to be an anti-Christian, Islam, or Jewish conversation. Neither one am I here to challenge. And quite honest, there's things about Christian culture I absolutely love because that's my background. Islamic culture, that's my wife's background. She gets mad when I say that. I'm not Muslim. Yeah, okay, whatever. Assalamu alaikum. And then Judaism. And as you guys heard me say many times in class, there's a lot of respect for the Jewish culture. By the way, Shabishi can answer this question. And do you guys know how many Jews there are in the world?
Josh
okay,
said
Josh.
too many.
Josh, see, he's Jewish, so he can get away with that the Yiddish joke. I am not telling that joke. They had me next to Kanye West, so so I'm out on that one, bro. But guess just real quick, you can answer, and you can answer, Josh. How many Jews do you think there are in the world? Just roughly, throw a number. There's 8 billion people in the world, which is 8,000 million people, right, in the world right now. How many of those people you think are Jewish? Huh? You said 60 million? Okay. Any other guess? You said 100 million? How many you gotta give me some number. Come on, just what you feel. Give me close to what you feel. Huh? 15 million? You said 50 million or 15 million? 50 million? 1.5, okay. What you got? 30 million? Okay, he just, are you on your phone looking it up real fast? She like this. she real smooth. She like, oh, this is a nice class. Mm-hmm. JEWS. How many? Got him! So let me give you some cold thing, gang. This is cold because Jews are teaching us something and we're missing the fucking lesson. There's only 14 million Jews in the whole world. There's only 5 million Jews in the United States. But if you read the top newspapers, you swear to God, there's hundreds and thousands and millions of Jews, right? And that's because they didn't let nobody tell them that they are a minority. I want to hear this again. Y'all, see, in scaling, small is sometimes big and big is sometimes small. It's reverse sometimes. It's only small if you accept it. Remember I said in this class, you perceive what you expect to perceive? The Jewish community, shout out to them cats. They're performing at a level where they're saying, yeah, we're only 5 million in the United States, 14 million total. Yes.
I just read that a study estimates that 1.6 million people in the U.S. identify as transgender and only 5 million Jews in the United States.
Oh, so Josh says only 1.6 million people identify as transgender in the United States, and there's only 5 million Jews, right? I want you guys to see the game you're not playing. You're allowing people to shrink you under the premise of the word minority. You got 14 million black people in the United States? Mm-hmm. 40 or 47 million. 47 million people, black people, 5 million Jews, and look who looks the smallest. That's cold game. Respect to the Jewish community. And that by no means I was not anti-Jewish. I was actually acknowledging the good work that they're doing, which I can get into another day. Some other stuff I think is valuable that Jews do. Excuse Excuse me. Let's go to this first slide. Let's jump into this because I'm gonna move fast. But it's gonna be. It's really I'm surrounding 2 big points, but I'm gonna move fast to make these 2 points. But before we get to the cover this, I just want to just go over these couple things real quick. First principle thinking. Hopefully you guys have been playing with this, the assumption game. I was in a meeting with the chief of probation, and he was telling me a strategy that they use to create successful probation officers. And he said, what we try to teach the probation officers is to teach them respect. And I said, I'm sorry, what does that mean? He says, what do you mean, what does it mean? I said, I think this is a shared assumption in your group, but I'm sure because of our differences, what does that mean? And he said, what? I said, okay, I got 17 girlfriends. You're married, you're single, and let's say you're just free loving. You say respect and relationships, they mean something different to all 4 of us. So what is your brand of respect and relationships? And he was like, I've never processed that before. That's just assumption, that's first principle thinking. Some of you guys made first principle thinking too mechanical. I'm gonna think this, I'm gonna think that, I'm gonna think this, and then I'm gonna do this, and then no, it's being able to hear the assumptions that you're always making and others are always making, and knowing when to pull on that lever to work in your interest to solve complex problems. Sometimes the complex problem is right underneath your nose, but you can't see it because you're blinded by assumptions. Y'all get that? I promise you, the assumption game is so cold. People are like, I believe that for black people, that's all assumptions. There's nothing there. You don't know what all black people are doing this week, this month, this year, and last year. You're just making a whole bunch of assumptions. By the way, did you guys know there's a group called, you guys ever heard of Deacons of Justice? Anybody? You know how they show you civil rights films and black people are always running from the dogs and the water hoses? Deacons of Justice was black men in the South who got together, armed themselves with real weapons and said, KKK, we're going to protect the marches, and I wish you would. They told police, if you hurt any of us, we will see you. Isn't it funny how they never tell you about that? All you think is black folks are just like, yes, sir, and running and screaming, and oh my God, don't hit us. So there was a non-violent movement, but down south there was many black people forming groups, militant groups, which ex-military men saying, "I kill white people in the war. I'd be damned if you about to come over here and hurt my kids and my people." Dope ass point. So anyway, thinking is different than knowledge. Don't ever forget that point. Thinking is different than knowledge. Some of you guys will be fooled by people who will run off so much knowledge at you, you assume they have the ability to think. You will sometimes think you are thinking when you're just quoting knowledge. No, there is a huge difference. And once you start to, adjust your lens to see the difference between thinking and knowledge, you'll realize a lot of times you don't think. You don't think. You're just copying and pasting and then throwing knowledge on top of it. And then you start to really see this separation between the dog and the wolf. It's a huge thing. Third thing, I'll recap. Don't forget this. What you perceive is what you expect to perceive. Shakina sent me this cool-ass clip I posted in our group. He said, if you grab an orange, you squeeze an orange juice will come out of it. But if somebody squeezes you, anger comes out. That tells you something about yourself. You see what you expect to see. You perceive what you expect to perceive. If you ever say the phrase, I'm feeling some kind of way, that's you making yourself mad. That ain't got shit to do with what happened in front of you. That means you just cut off all investigations, all insights, and went back to your triggers and your emotions. Cold shit, right? Next slide. I'm moving fast tonight. Matter of fact, next week I think I'm going to ask y'all what the hell that meant. What's I'm saying? Let me do this. Let me look at that real quick. Let me look at that slide. I'm like, what the hell is necessary insufficiency? That man snuck in there real quick. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't know where that came from, people. Hold on a second. Let me look at this real quick. They got me triggered. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Is that from last week or this week? I don't think that's my slide. Keep going.
From the podcast?
Go to the next slide. That's not my slide. No, you Josh, you start from the same slides. You just add the slides to. Then whatever came out the singularity, you can compare the notes. Go back to the original notes or the original slide, because I am so confused right now that I'm starting to wonder, have I been drinking too much water? Because this water can be. Would you get your ass back to the slide I asked for before you start telling jokes? Let me know when you get there, because I need to get back to the slides we're at. What's like when she sent over the slides? I want to go back to the slides that she had. She just didn't give me all my slides, so her slides was correct. It just wasn't complete.
I think she's saved.
Just get to the first slide. Just get so I can keep moving, and you just can add them while I'm talking. Huh? You just can't move the slides and add them into the. I don't care. Just give me the link to my next slide as fast as possible. Dear Jesus. So, y'all ready for Kwanzaa? It's like, dear Jesus, I just need to. Huh? Okay, well, just load them for me as quick as possible, please. Words, too many words. You ever had a situation where you're in a crisis and the people start saying, what should we do? And start having a full conversation? Yeah, I just had that moment with my boy Josh. By the way, Josh got a new car, so he's got a little weirdness about him right now. He has that Audi sports car, TT, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. He's totally different now. He done start shaving his legs. Kaboo! Don't you talk. You just keep moving. It's my time to talk about you with your slow ass. Yeah. No, ain't no safe space with me. I don't give a shit about safety. Yeah.
I looked back at the folder, Nana, and these are the slides that are in here as of 7:03 p.m. today.
Which ones?
The ones that were just up.
The updated slides are not the ones from what I had earlier. Click on that one real quick. Let me see what it got here. We're in those slides. Keep going. Let's see. Yep.
Yeah.
No, let's keep going.
Yeah, those are the update. That's the update that's in there.
Go to Abraham theory. Just go to Abraham theory. I think she might mix. I don't know what those slides are coming from. Let's start right there. Okay, let's start right there. Let's go right there. All right, give me both screens. Let's go. Because I got to move quickly on these. Now, some of this stuff, if you have questions, this is not going to be Bible studies. Pastor Chris is having church on Sunday. Make sure you get there if you have deeper questions, because Pastor Chris actually went to school for theology. Do you know that less than 90% of the ministers in the black community don't go to theology school? Did you know that? So between me and you, Pastor Chris is fire. All right, let's start off. I want you to read these scriptures. This first one's from Exodus, second one's from Timothy 4:1, Exodus 26. But this is tied to his class tonight. Ain't that something? I got to quote scriptures, bro.
Bro, that's crazy.
Bro, it's crazy, right? Is that crazy?
You put me in a compromising position.
Why is that?
Tamara is right there.
I know. This is going to be crazy.
You looking at me, but she looking at me.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? I got to do the scripture stuff because I'm stepping in Pastor Chris' circle of competence. So let's get this started. Let's go fire it off.
Hey,
Okay.
we in trouble if that's the case.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thou shalt not make. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
We pause real quick. You'll be surprised. This is a problem right now for most of us. And I'm going to get there in a second. Keep going.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God,
You understand me?
visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me,
Woo! Keep rolling.
and shewing mercy unto thousands of them that love me, and keep my commandments.
Nah, this is going to get so strong. Next one, Timothy 4:1.
Now the Spirit speaketh expressly, that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith.
Now, some shall depart from the faith. You understand me? This is important because if you look at America's trajectory of Christianity and spirituality and how we're moving, it's happened. It's been happening. Keep going.
Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils.
Giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Oh, this is going to be so good because this is a business comment. Y'all won't see. Wait till I make the connection. Roll. Next slide. So Abraham is the father of all three faiths: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Abraham. Now, those of you who don't know who Abraham is, Chris just taught an amazing series on Abraham. Chris goes so far to Abraham to the point that you don't think he's your brother. But his teachings were so impactful that even Paul talked about Abraham. So Abraham is absolutely the father. Let me start here. Human beings, for some reason, are religious animals. If we don't have a God, we make one. Atheists are not atheists. When we don't have a God, we make one. If you kind of play with this Sunday morning church thing, you don't really get into it, you still got your own God. You're seduced into, the more you don't align with your religion, the more you're seduced by the religions of the world. Stay with me on this, because it's gonna get really dope. So in our nature as human beings, if the Bible didn't exist, we would create the word. Because in our nature, the Bible, Christianity, religion speaks to a certain need a human being has. And I'll get too deep in that need right now because it's not the point of where I'm trying to go right now. Okay? Next slide. Now, this is from a transcript of Walter Russell Mead. Walter Russell Mead is a person that looks at culture from a macro perspective. He's dealt with foreign affairs. He thinks he sits on top think tanks. These are the kind of people that change the way the world runs because they look at the world from a whole different perspective. So he's having this conversation, and I just took some highlights out of that conversation to make this class work tonight. You guys with me so far? Okay. So we're going to move a little fast, and I'm going to pause every once in a while to keep you guys following along because some of the words may lose you, so I want to make sure that you're staying with me. I don't want to lose you. So let's roll. Prehistory.
We all sort of look back on a garden. Human beings are in full communion with God and harmony with nature.
So the Garden of Eve. So we all look back at Garden of Eve, and human beings during our Garden of Eve were all in full communion with God and harmony with nature. You remember that, right? Before the apple, right? Before the snake. Pause. Keep rolling.
I don't understand. Pause. Okay. Then something happens, triggering what Christians would call the fall of man.
So Christians went through the fall of man because something happened. We don't get to what happened because it's irrelevant because you'll see where I'm going with this in a minute. Keep going.
And now we are out of harmony with God.
Right. That's most religious. Almost all the religions of Abraham. These are the basic principles of the religions of Abraham. They kind of all unite around this principle here. Keep going.
We're out of harmony with nature. We're out of harmony with each other.
Right, keep going.
We're just a mess, and the bloodshed, the cruelty, the oppression begins.
So we all kind of know that's kind of where we are now. The bloodshed and the oppression is happening, correct? So we were at one point absolute peace. Man fell, and now we're at a state of oppression and bloodshed and struggles. Keep going.
But in all three religious schemas, God doesn't abandon humanity into its own just desserts, but sends prophets and legislators.
So he never left you. He sent many to save you, right? This is the story of Jesus Christ, his disciples, Elijah, all these different stories. He never abandoned you. The word, forgiveness, all these wonderful things that were sent to save you. Keep going.
He enters history, God enters in history to pull us back up.
So God comes forth to pull us back up. Keep going.
And then at the end of history, in God's good time,
So when God decides it's time, keep going.
humanity will return to perfect harmony with each other, perfect harmony with the natural world, and perfect harmony with God, but at a higher level.
So we will get to even a higher level than we were at the time that we were in the garden. Keep going.
We see this in the religions, moving from a garden to a city.
So now it's moving from the story of the garden has moved to the city.
We don't want no devils in the house. We want them no.
I want y'all to stay with this real quick because all of the great systems of this earth, capitalism, communism, socialism, and Marxism, which is social, is all based upon the Abraham laws, the Abraham story. The idea is that we were these organic people in the wilderness, and then we all came together because we started to fall and create chaos. These systems, if we follow these systems, at the end of these systems, we will be saved, right? That's how I talk about capitalism, the greatest system in the world. Communism, if you guys know the history of communism, they were so convinced that this system was going to heal all men and make the time so good that what they did was human beings could not even handle that responsibility, and they started to kill and mass kill each other in order to try to reach this promised land, right? Marxism, y'all know about when Mao then was like, hey, if man could just go here, everything be okay, and then everybody started killing each other. Because all of us got drunken by these ideas of these systems. If we just grab hold of these systems, they're gonna make your life better. Keep going. So I said that. So, but I would also add.
I would add liberalism.
So liberalism means that the liberal culture has a story that suggests once we get to this state of mind, all things will be peaceful. Social justice imply if everybody gets rid of racism, everything gonna be all right. Conservatives say if you just follow these rules, America is gonna be amazing. Technology says if you just let technology, once we get social media, it's gonna make the world better. Scientists say, listen, if you just listen to us, because we went to COVID, just listen to us. I don't need you thinking. It's gonna be great. The pro-black movement, we was in Africa chilling. Things was peaceful. And then a white man came and made us fall from grace. And if we just get back to Africa or just stick together, and we just unite under the black umbrella, we're gonna be all right. Did Josh just step? I hate him so much. Entrepreneurs, stay with me. If I just get rich, if I just become successful, if I just reach the promised land, my life's gonna be perfect. Marriage, if I just marry this man, if I just marry this woman, we're going to live happily ever after. Do y'all see how you started to turn these things to religion? You say, well, Nana, why are they religions? Because you don't, when you follow a religion is an act of what? It's a walk of what? Faith. What does a human being have to do to walk a path of faith? You have to trust. You have to surrender your rational thinking. You got to surrender your analysis quite often based upon the way that we show up to it. Not what the Bible suggests, by the way. The Bible is not guilty of this. I'm talking about how religious, how we adopted the principle, because these cultures have been preaching Christianity, Islam, Marxism in China, and they preach these principles that seep into our culture. But this is a weird thing here, because we've become we turn from religion to trying to make everything religious. Y'all trying to see how the promise of it's going to get better. Next slide real quick. Oh, by the way, white supremacy told them, what you're preaching is utopia. There's no such thing as utopia. Let me say this again. There's no such thing as utopia. This is how you get enticed and drunken, because somebody sell you this drunk idea. If you just do these, follow these social gender, social rules, beliefs, ideas, principles on the promise, if you just buy this car, if you get this, if I finally get my house, if I marry this person, and you move. This is why when I talk to you, when you in that state, it's because you're in a religious state of mind. Have you tried to talk to somebody when they're hypnotized by their religion and try to tell them their religion is wrong? It is irrelevant dialogue. It's not. There's no rational conversation in the world that's going to save them. When they locked in, all forms of feedback and knowledge and insights are totally irrelevant. So what happens when you make a decision around marriage and you hypnotize by the religious journey? What happens when you make a decision in business and you hypnotize, but if I just buy this product here, my business is going to blow up. If I just get this investment from this investor, everything's going to be all right. If this obstacle just moves out of my way, everything's going to work out just right. If I join, the reason I can't stand these Democrats and these Republicans, because they are threatening my ability to have the peace I deserve, the afterlife. He told you. It told you, do not put anything before me. And as you put these things in front of you, you find yourself distracted. I remember a long time ago, I sat down with my business partner and said, hey, why are you voting, bro? What the fuck is a black vote? It don't make no sense. Mathematically, we don't sit down and get the same information. We don't have the same amount of knowledge, and we're not uniting enough to say this is what we're doing. We're going into this booth all guessing. And we're watching white TV, so really we're just a black supporting vote for the white folks. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. And this is around the president. I said, but you really excited about the president? You know, this shit really don't matter, bro. Because the president, to many of y'all, is your Jesus. He's here to save you. Obama's supposed to save you, huh? And guess who's Satan? Trump's your Satan, huh? Neither one is true. You can't even look at the system for what it is, because you got so much romanticism, because the system is almost spiritual to you. The founding fathers, the Constitution, don't touch it. Does that sound like religion to you? Do you see how you're moving in the rhythm of Abraham, the religious Abraham religion, which is Abraham religion? I'm not even touching that, because I have no beefs with that. I have beefs with your false gods. Keep rolling.
Utopian ideal that won't be a messiah in the atheist view. Either a return appearance or a new one, depending on whether you are Christian or Jewish.
But
it might be technology.
So technology might be your messiah. Keep going.
Or it might be a political structure that saves humanity from itself.
Oh, some political structure might be your messiah. Keep going.
Or there is some redemptive future that we can yearn for and can hasten.
So something like if we just get to this future and we have to do whatever it takes to get there. Stay with me, y'all, because it's about to get crazy. Next slide. I'm calling this the Abraham mental model, is that you're taking on principles of the Bible and you're trying to convert the real world into your spiritual world. They're both real, but they're real and they have their different place. It's almost like if you take parenting into corporate America, you're going to fail in leadership, right? And so let's keep rolling. Next slide. So stay with me. We're on the same topic now. So we hit utopia first. The next issue is singularity. Watch this. This is also something that's happening ridiculous. Go ahead. Next slide.
The future of humanity is at stake.
So you heard other people say this all the time. If we don't do this, the future of humanity is at stake. Do you know that's a religious trigger? They trigger you religiously. Meaning that if you have this mental model inside your brain. So first, okay, let me explain the mental model real quick once again. Your brain can't process reality. It can't. It's too much. It's overwhelming. So your brain builds these models of the way the world works so you can kind of move through the world and process what's going on, right? So when you build these models of how the world works, you don't realize by you living in a Christian society, you have a Christian model of how the world works. Y'all with me so far? You don't just, if you go to some places where they have different, like if you go to a Hindu society, they don't see the world the way you see the world. They have a different model. You go back to ancient Greece, they don't see the world the way you see the world. They had multiple gods and different models. This is very important to understand this, right? So in this culture, watch how people are doing religious dog whistle calls to you, and you don't know why it's almost blindly addictive, why you almost find yourself swept up in these ideas, and why you're not thinking in the process because you're caught in a hypnotized religious state. Roll.
Liberalism and Marxism deserve a place in the quarrelsome, divided family of Abraham.
So the quarrelsome, divided families of Abraham is Islam, Christianity, and Judaism are always arguing with each other. The arguments may calm down, but there's always a subtle argument between the three of them because they all come from Abraham, but they all have three different renditions of which way to go, right? Keep going.
They resemble the religions descended from Abraham in their claims of universal and exclusive truth.
Stop. Stay with me. These religions claim universal, exclusive truth. Now you're starting to see can you see the transparency of the shit around you? All these movements and all these systems are claiming they're the universal system truths. There's this guy said one time, he said he was a religious scholar winning a scholar award. And he said, don't you think there's a contradiction? Somebody asked him after he won his award, do you think there's a contradiction between you being a religious man and winning this award from scientists? He goes, well, no, I don't. He said, well, what do you mean? He says, both of us think we know a lot. And sometimes our egos make us feel like we know everything, but we'll never know everything. We're both living off assumptions. I thought that was amazing. The honesty and the wisdom of that. But yet, even when we make scientists, did you guys remember being in California and people screaming, where your mask at, and getting mad at you? Did you realize did you see people walking down the street by themselves with a mask on? They were in a religious state of mind. You thought they were, why can't they think? Why are they not rationalizing? Like when you see such just like, why are you still doing it? It doesn't even make any sense. It's a religious space for them. It's a walk of faith because in the end, they're walking towards utopia, but they're moving in the principles of singularity. This is why people of color, and you'd be like, what's your pronoun? I don't give a fucking pronoun. That's your thing. Like, if you want to have a pronoun, cool. I'm Nana Kofenti. I'm Mr. I don't give a fuck about pronouns. Oh my God. How are you offended by that? Because if I take your mindset and project it back on you, we're back at square one again. Singularity there's only one truth. Y'all moving in business like this. Y'all fall in love with people who teach classes because they feel so charismatically like the Messiah.
and you stop even hearing what the fuck they saying to you. You in a room, thousands of people filled in this room, and you're all excited, and he says, I need 10,000 more. You're like, yes! Because you're paying for the afterlife, the promise. The promise. Keep going.
Their unshakable belief in their right to dictate morals and politics to the world.
Meaning that your thoughts is under their tutelage. They're coming for your thoughts. Why are you thinking this? Who are you to feel and think like this? I want y'all, just stay with me. Can y'all see how cold this shit is? Keep going.
And their confidence that at the end of the day, their visions will triumph over their rivals.
Do you understand also, going back to the question we said, we talked about Shakina earlier, and I said, because some of y'all are on a religious journey, this is why you can't even have feedback. You don't know where I'm going. You remember what Court said, you don't know where I come from. You know what, that's a religious comment. Okay, let me show you how cold this is. Make America great again. Can you see the Abraham journey? We were great. I'm going to come as a Messiah and deliver you from turmoil. We have to go through a little bit of something right now so we can get to the promised land. And why so many people are like, oh my God, this is resonating with me. I don't even like this dude. You don't even like Trump and you riding with him. Then Biden's told, hey, you got to put the devil down. Here comes Biden. We got to vote for him. Oh my God, I got to do it. I want y'all to pay attention to this because it's everywhere around you. You don't see that we're spewing up these religious arguments. Here, it's going to get dangerous. This is not a night. This is not just me making a moral call. You see, Hitler and Stalin was religious leaders of what they thought was the truth. And y'all saw what happened to the world, right? Let's keep rolling.
People have, at times, as we know, done terrible things to advance their idea of the right religion. But they feel it has tremendous impacts on the well-being of human beings.
Okay, so my truth, stay with me on this one. My truth is so important that if I have to kill you, if I have to break you down, if I have to destroy you to bring forth my truth that I believe that God has ordained because I just can feel this religious connection to something spiritually telling me to go because I'm drunken with the voice of the devil. Uh-oh. I will do what I have to do in the interest because at the end of the day, even if it destroys all of you, it's in the better good. Slavery. If it destroys all of you, gentrification. If it even destroys all of you, Democrats against Republicans. If it destroys social justice, if white supremacy, pro-black movement, black parenting, relationships, even what I gotta do, if it destroys you, it's for your own good. If I beat your fucking creativity, exploration, drive for the future, your power, your alpha male, female, they, alpha they, I don't know if there's such thing, but fuck it, I'm gonna ride with my folks for a minute. Alpha they, or whatever the fuck it is. I beat that shit out of you because in the end, I'm gonna get you somewhere. Don't matter. Don't give a fuck about your feelings. Fuck your feelings, kids. Just do what the fuck I say. So some of y'all sitting in my class right now, and you got so many walls up that was raised by your parents that you can't even get beyond. You can't even act on the shit you know is right because you are so scared, so frightened that somebody's gonna whoop your ass if it goes wrong. We finish this one?
Yes.
Next slide. So, you see, the Romans, let's go with this. By the way, Daniel, I love you if you listen to my voice because you came through like a G. Keep going.
So the Romans would fight you over money. They would fight you over power and security.
So real quick, Romans had multiple gods. You remember Zeus, Hercules? Some people even say I remind them of Hercules from the gym. That's just you know what I'm saying. They say, hey, first of all, you need to stop hating and start congratulating. You understand me? So anyway, let's keep going. Look here, thank you. Look here, I got some real people up in this room today. I'm taking the feedback I need. You understand? But keep going.
Might fight you to take you as slaves or something like that. But they were not fighting you to change the ideas in your head.
Ooh. Do y'all think, are y'all watching this shit get turned backwards? We're going back to the 50s. These white boys who got power, like, you got me fucked up. You've been shaming me and been trying to make my world rigid. Fuck all your woke shit. Fuck all your gender shit. Fuck all your sexual shit. Fuck everything you saying. If you ain't got money, shut the fuck up when I walk in the room. The cold part, it ain't just Republicans doing that. Liberals are making an argument, it's just slavery. Shit, come on, calm down. Because why? You guys are embracing these beliefs that are not sustainable. I'm about to get into why it's not sustainable in a minute, but it's not sustainable. Some of y'all move with that same perfectionism in your own space. A lot of .com people are on some religious hype. And black folks, you are in a different game at a different point in your evolution. They are on vacation, you gotta get to work. But some of y'all have been hypnotized into their religious movement and think that's your shit. We gotta stand up for this. What the fuck you mean we? And when the prize money show up, guess who they don't give money to? Keep going.
They persecuted Christians, but that was a different kind of thing, and they saw it as a political issue rather than a religious issue.
So when the Romans persecuted Christians, they wasn't coming for them religiously. Because there was multiple. See, back in the Roman time, they weren't worried about what God you were celebrating over there. As long as they didn't mess with my money, they ain't got nothing to do with me. When I grew up in East Oakland, I didn't really worry about your religious background when I was growing up. I'm not sure what that did. To this day, I still don't care. I don't care about your gender. I don't care about your gender preferences. I don't care about your race. If you cool, you cool. If I ain't fucking with you, I ain't fucking with you. I got some Asian people I fucking love. I got some Asian people, they better not say shit to me because it's on the first word. It's real talk. And I can say that about every race, by matter of fact. Black, white, Asian, Latino. The reality is this. This whole religious thing gives us the permission to tell everybody they wrong for being who they are. It wants to remove the differences and the variations from people. You let a motherfucker tell you you are a people of color, and now you're trying to figure out what the fuck that is. When you're gonna move to people of color land? Because that means you just got to get the fuck out of here because it doesn't exist. That's how crazy this shit is. You might say, no, why are we talking about social justice again? Have y'all seen how it's fucking up businesses? It's running amok on businesses now. Because the people are so fragile, management can't move. I'm getting paid a lot of money in for the next couple of years to work with big organizations on how to move forward despite the flaws of social justice because it just doesn't work. It's created too many fragile behaviors. The colleges are creating this fragility that doesn't work in corporate America. Because remember I told you friction is the process you have to go to become stronger. They don't want to deal with no friction. It's because I'm black, huh? No, because you're stupid. Shut the fuck up. Go ahead.
Remember when they started saying Latinx?
Latinx,
they jumped on that movement.
Yeah.
Latino lawmakers in the U.S. are banning that term because they're like, fuck that word. We don't want to use that shit no more. So all y'all we had to use it because it was a term of the day. But now the Latino people was like, no, we never asked for that shit.
And I met this one brother. This gay male Latino community, and he was very feminine, very fly, well dressed, one of the most interesting men alive, right? And I asked him, I said, your family, he goes, I'll go back to Mexico and visit my family. I love going back to Mexico and visit my family. And he's very feminine gay, so he's not kind of gay you wouldn't know. There's no doubt he has no reason. He's so out the closet, he's standing outside, okay? So I'm talking to this cat, and he gave me so many dope insights. He says, but when I go home and see my father, my whole family knows I'm gay. I just have my responsibilities. As long as I hit my responsibilities, I'm family. Different communities, I'm not saying people are perfect, and I'm not saying people are great. I'm not saying we don't have a long way to go. I'm saying this singularity of it has to be done this one way is fucking insane. Every culture, every household have different ways of dealing with it. And there might be some unification in certain areas where it makes sense, but singularity doesn't work for the diversity of human beings. You claim diversity, but you argue singularity. Do you see the fucking problem? If you manage your team, how many of you guys have managed from a space of singularity? Because remember, you try to get to the promised land. And if everybody gets to the promised land, you got to move just like me, think like me, and be like me. Otherwise, you're going to destroy my chances to get to where? My fucking heaven. Stop making your business, stop making your nation, stop making your culture your new gods. Keep rolling.
The society represents the triumph of enlightened liberalism, the end of history, whatever we want to call it. All right? So in fact, the feeling that the singularity is closer doesn't necessarily cause people to convert to an Abrahamic religion.
Let me make it real quick. So watch this on singularity. Just because you think your values are right, black people, white people, gay women, whatever, business, entrepreneurship, you're the only entrepreneur in my community. So everybody needs to convert to what I'm talking about. I don't understand why you don't hear what the fuck I'm saying when I'm trying to teach you these principles I learned in class last night. Stay with me. It ain't never converted nobody. Christians don't get it from the Muslims be like, look, man, Jesus came back. Can y'all just get over it? And this Muhammad dude, I don't even know what y'all talking about. And Muslims be like, oh my God, this is it. I'm glad you told me. Oh my God. No, it doesn't work that way. So stop going home like, we learned in class today, these principles, how come you can't get it? Singularity. Me and my wife is different as shit. Compliments. We compliment. All my friends compliment me. I compliment them. Singularity is a make-believe world that doesn't really exist. Even if we are all the same today, tomorrow we start to shift away in different directions. Can we still be friends? Some of y'all can't stay in relationships because that marriage that you made your path of singularity, now the partner's changing, and guess what? I don't know if this is the right relationship for me anymore. I didn't really sign up for this. Keep rolling.
But people who have Abrahamic mindsets become activated.
So when you come at me about singularity, you activate me now to defend myself. Let me give y'all some game. This is such deep-ass game. When you talking to people, try to talk to them from trying to explore them and have a conversation with them. Stop trying to push your singularity type of way of talking to people. And you'll get so much further. Because if you want to trigger people to go fight you, say, I know what's best for you. She's like, shit, that's all it took. I was ready to fight you earlier. So keep going.
And now, it's more important to spread cosmopolitan global governance than ever because of
climate change. You got to change because climate change. Or because AI. Or because of whatever. Because racism, our rights. People die for this. My family, my mother told me I ain't never had. Fuck your singularity. It doesn't work, people. Y'all see this how this Abrahamic rhythm, culture rhythm, it's not Bible, because Bible has scriptures to go align with everything I'm saying. If I wanted to, I could have just stayed on scriptures the whole time, but then I would have felt really awkward. I would feel like I would call Pastor Chris, you teach it tonight. I'm not doing that. I'm a lover of the Bible, but I'm not doing that. But keep going.
And so you have this totalizing. The whole world must run this.
Oh, the
must
whole
run in
world must
this
run
way.
this way. I remember Shaman said he went to Europe, and he's walking by some black folks. He said, "What's up?" He's looking at him like, "What the fuck does it mean?" Like literally, I want y'all to see how this cold-blooded, how this singularity thing works. Oh, you know, all black people, we need to. Okay. Do you understand? Okay, so let me help you. This is actually marketing, a deeper level of marketing. Marketing tells you there's no such thing as singularity. When I sell a product, ain't no everybody. Ain't no they. It's mapping out a strategic connection to who will buy your products. But when you buy into these singularity ideas, this is why it's hard to detach yourself from that when you're out there. So you're at an event and you chose the wrong event, but you don't know you chose the wrong event because you just assume that you're blessed, you should be here, and once you sell your products, everything's gonna be all right. Set up your booth, put your products out there. You know, this shit's hot. I love, man, my graphic designer did this shit. This shit's super hot. In the night, you start off the day with 4. In the night, you got 3.5. What the fuck happened? What you don't realize is that when you went out there, you wasn't thinking. You were acting from a space of faith. There's a difference. I believe man should have faith, 100%, because you never know everything. One thing I learned about the Bible, it's so far out the reach of most people's knowledge and thinking, it's ridiculous. I don't think anybody will ever completely understand that book. I think it's relative to where you are and where you're at. You can read a book all you want, but understanding it is a whole different thing. Because you understand knowledge and thinking is two different things. It's just two different worlds. Keep going.
Or we're all going to die. And if it does run in this way, well, all will be fine. It is going to be terrific.
So bottom line is that you always will have this idea, if it goes this way, things will be perfect. But if it doesn't, this is detrimental. Have you guys been around somebody like, if I just stay with this person one more week, it's just going to destroy me? Really? Really? It's going to destroy you, huh? You don't realize, because at the end of the day, you thought this person was going to save you. Is our kids that want to say, huh? For the book of, you understand, E40. And it says, and what happened was, when you realize he couldn't or she couldn't save you, all of a sudden, you start to turn this person from the God to the devil in your life. Some of y'all can't pay your child support because you got to pay child support to the devil, and I just can't do that. That ain't the mama of your child that babysits your child 24 hours a day when you're not around. But you don't want to pay child support because they couldn't be the Messiah you thought they were supposed to be. Next one. Next slide. So, this is reality. Now I'm going to hit you in the gut. Shabisha, you're going to actually read it and slap people in the face. You ready for this?
Yes.
All right. Josh, don't get turned on because you like that rough stuff. Go ahead. Let's go.
Yuck. Reality check.
All right, here's the reality. This is a reality check. Stay with this. Those at home, stay with this. This is not going to feel comfortable. Go for it.
The Industrial Revolution was both soaring triumph and searing tragedy, glorious cultural and scientific achievement, and unspeakable cruelty and crime. Far from being unique to the epoch, the mix of great good and great evil is what we see wherever we look in the long annals of our kind.
So meaning that if you look at humankind, we will see great good. This is equal to great evils. The whole human arc has always been. There ain't been a time since we've been around here. We had a time of, it's just been peace. We've been in a space where it's been great good and great evil. So no, in Africa, it wasn't all peace. No, in Europe, in Rome, it wasn't all peace. No, the founding fathers wasn't all peace. No, the 1950s wasn't all fucking peace. Stay with it. Let's keep going. Go back. I'm not changing. Go back. Slow down. Shit. Go ahead.
The rise of the Roman Empire, the Allied victory in World War II, the decolonization of Africa, and the history of the United States of America all combine these features of extraordinary accomplishment and shocking horror.
So along next to all of our extraordinary accomplishments, we have shocking horror. Keep going, next slide. Whoa, she left out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Look at the document. Look at the document, the bottom document. Oh my God. Like, she had to do it at the last minute, so it's a rush. The second part of this paragraph is the most important part.
Hold on, come in. I will be there. I'm here.
Go down to the bottom of the document. You'll see right where we are. Oh my God. It's the best part.
I'm getting there. Okay.
It's the most important part of my damn thing. I'll pull up and read it my damn self if I have to. Shit.
Second. Oh, here we go. Okay, this is how we human beings roll.
Yeah. So anyway, go back to that last line and then keep rolling. So read that last sentence. Everybody just listen closely because we won't have the visual for you and we'll get it up there. We get Danielle to give you a copy of the visual, but go for it.
The rise of the Roman Empire, the Allied victory in World War II, the decolonization of Africa, and the history of the United States of America all combine these features of extraordinary accomplishment and shocking horror.
Keep going.
That is how we human beings roll.
That's how we roll. We kill and we accomplish. We rape and we accomplish. We are imperfect as fuck. The problem with a lot of our also Abrahamic beliefs is we're looking for perfect people. Singularity suggests perfect synchronized human behavior. It has never existed. This is why if we get freedom, we got hella work in front of us. Freedom is a new lifestyle of new jobs, new deaths, new lives, new work, new rape, new good times, new bad times, new policing, new jails, new all that. All that. This utopia type approach to life got us so immature that some of us are just waiting for it to happen. We like that Christian never goes to church, don't pay no tithes, don't give no offering. We just want things just to fall in place. Go for it. Keep going. Keep reading that same thing. Listen closely.
Our story of progress is not a made-for-children television special. History is rated X, not G.
So what you say? History is rated X, not G. History. Look at me in my eyes. When it says history is rated X, not G.
Oh my God!
History is rated X, not G. Let me say this again, because y'all watch TV too fucking much. Some of y'all Disney drunk. History is rated X. Y'all know what rated X is, right? I will let Josh get up here, but he'll talk too long. You understand? But some of y'all keep quoting only the rated G. Relationships are rated X, not G. Family is rated X, not G. Life on this earth is rated X, not G. This is the shit I'm teaching the same thing he's teaching, but I'm using the Abrahamic approach. This softness that we're running around here with as if it should, I just want to be in a safe place. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Safe place. Sorry. That's a religious ass movement. Life we are in is rated X, not G. The work we got to do for our community is rated X, not G. The shit you got to do to become an entrepreneur is rated fucking X, not G. Y'all trying to do this shit on a rated G level. Y'all want rated G feedback. Just talk to me softly, because I just don't want to hear all that nana. I got some rated X shit to tell you. I don't want to come to this class because y'all be cussing. Life is not rated X. It's not rated G. It's rated X.
Can I jump?
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, and here's the cold part. If you have ever read the Bible and not just listened to pastor, you'll realize the Bible is rated X too.
Oh my God. Not G. Y'all only want to hear about being in heaven and milk and honey and walking next to Jesus and asking questions and walking on water and turning water to wine. Y'all don't want to hear about the revolutionary Jesus. You do it again, I'll tear this whole place down. Say I won't. Huh? I don't think y'all, like, this game is cold. But read this next part.
History is rated X, not G, crammed to the bursting point with violence, injustice, foul language, nudity, and smoking.
That was funny, smoking part.
We've
real quick. You see, he says crammed with all this stuff. I don't understand why we don't get justice. Because you live amongst human beings. I told Kevin, I told him, I said, listen, bro, you know what life is like? It's like building a sandcastle at a crowded beach. Somebody gonna knock your shit over with, and they don't intend to. It just happens to be in a place where it's crowded. The world moves in a way where you're gonna come under attack, whether you choose to or not to. You're gonna come under attack. The reason we gotta be peaceful, because I can't waste my time fighting you. It's a waste. It's gonna burn my energy. I got a real fight over here. Yo, he say, she said, you offended me, you should have said something to me. I don't give a fuck about you. Because I really see what we got to fight. If you guys understood that if you are not making a certain amount of money right now, your home right now is highly unstable. There's a chance that tomorrow the city will just move you or a landlord will just sell the property and you're gone. If you don't have a certain amount of economic impact, don't be surprised that in 10 years you live in Pittsburgh. Because white people say they want to come back. As the people with resources decide to move the world, you're just going to be victimized. Don't be surprised your gym gets shut down because guess what? The people that come in town don't give a shit about you. And you're not that chain. That's how a lot of small businesses died all over the United States, because if you don't have power and don't see the systems coming down the pipeline, you will become a victim. The way a system works is this. If you decide to create a system of your own, today's efforts won't show for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 100 years. It's not immediate reaction. So systems that are attacking you right now, things that just seem like it came from nowhere, started 10, 20, 30, 50, 60, 100 years ago. So if you're so naive, what I said to Shabisha earlier, you're moving like a fucking child in a grown-up world. Once you became a motherfucking adult, you need to pay attention. Once you became an adult, you need to pay a fucking attention. And if you're an entrepreneur, you got to be on steroids of paying the fuck attention. Live and let live. And why can't we all be happy and just being naive? You are a fucking child in an adult world. You got white people running shit and you want to just party. You are under attack. And it's not because system says when something comes for you, the players don't know what they're doing. Like the guy who's trying to catch the frisbee on a crowded beach who knocks over your sandcastle. He has a different incentive that happens to go against your incentive, but you don't even exist in his or her mind. You see where I'm going with this? So a lot of times people go to come for you that are not coming for you exactly. But if you don't know how to defend what you have, you lose everything. Right now, your grandchild may be stuck in the most poor school in the world because of what you're not doing today. I want you guys to see how this shit is dope. You guys are walking around like this world is fucking playground. There's cancers inside your body fighting to kick your ass right now. If you don't brush your teeth today, tooth decay, I will eat your fucking teeth out your mouth. You are under attack, but just how comfortable you are brushing your teeth and you just like, it's just the way it is. This is how you move through life. You got to be paying attention and know how to build, defend, grow. And the best form of defense is offense in this world. When you can move something and somebody come to move something, you got something to work with. The poor will never be stable in a capitalistic system. I can get to that another day, but goddamn, that's going to take a conversation. It's not possible. You're in hope. Not only learn how to survive, build a business, or be a leader, but how to fucking survive as a real adult. All this shit you've been taught up to this moment, they've been putting your ass to sleep. This shit is that real. The business you work in, some of y'all think this is a merit game. If I just work hard, the society will just reward me. This shit is ugly. Y'all say Game of Thrones, when a nice person gets killed like this, they don't give a fuck. It'd be like, they doing all this nice stuff, and somebody be like, I just want your shit. Kill him. When the family went in there to have dinner with them, and they just sliced the whole family. They were on the wedding day, just wah, 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 killed everybody. He's like, yeah, because he was getting our way. We want to do some other shit. They stopping us. That shit happens to you today. Oakland is going through a gentrification transformation because somebody said, we want this. So all your little comfortable stores, your barber shops, your food, your restaurants, your future gyms, they just getting shut the fuck down. 10 years from now, you're going to be walking through these Oakland going, what the fuck happened to the black people? Because you was partying and bullshitting and getting numb. And before you know, you wake up and be like, why can't I smoke weed every day? Now you doing too much, man. This shit good, man. You ever take this shit right? You come on, man, try some of this shit. And then you have the nerves to say they won't let us. There's another rule of systems that say there is never a they in a dynamic way of thinking. Everything you say about they, you also have to claim also what did you do to let them do what they did. This is that reality shit. Go to the next slide, because I want to give you what time is this shit? I'm moving, huh? Shake 33. I'm a bad motherfucking man. Go to the next slide real quick. Second order thinking. So, here's the answer to the Abraham. This is the formula to prevent yourself from catching yourself following these blind religions. It's called second order thinking. I learned first principle thinking, but second order thinking is a bad mamma jamma. You understand me? Next slide.
Almost everyone can anticipate the immediate results of their actions.
So, when you do something immediately, like you at somebody's house, they invite you in and like, yo, this is my prized possession. And you start showing them how you used to be able to do the splits, and you break their shit, you can anticipate the response. Ain't nobody gonna be like, I don't know why they acting like that.
You see Kevin Hart?
No.
He was trying to run against an NFL player and tore everything up. He's in a wheelchair.
Oh my God.
He busted everything up because he said, no, I'm fast. And they said, come on, let's race. So he had to cook out. They raced and he broke up.
Oh. By the way, I just started jogging again. The shit is, Pastor Chris over here doing 30 miles in a month or something like this. I'm like, man, you got me fucked up. You're going to be disrespecting me in front of my family. So now I'm out here trying to jog. The first day back, pray for me. Anyway, go ahead, let's keep going.
This type of first order thinking is easy and safe, but it's also a way to ensure you get the same results that everyone else gets.
So when you first do your second order thinking, it's safe, it's the first level, but that's a simple form of second, and you just get the same result that everybody else gets. You hear what I just said? This is so much game that I even suggest you go back and read this, listen to the class. This is so much game. Keep going.
Second order thinking is thinking farther ahead and thinking holistically.
This is so cool. Keep going.
It requires us to not only consider our actions and their immediate consequences, but the subsequent effects of those actions as well. Failing to consider the second and third order effects can unleash disaster.
This happens all the time. So let me put it in simple black language. If I do this, then this will happen, or this could happen, or this can happen. And then this could happen, and this can happen, which then means this possibly could happen, or this could happen. So what signs do I need to look at when I make this decision to know whether it's going to go to the left of the fork or the right of the fork? Do you know how many people don't do that shit? People get caught up, it's called satisficing. Is when you make a decision because it feels good in the meeting, you feel satisfied, you make the decision, and you trust and you act in a space of faith. Let it unfold.
Can I get one?
Go ahead.
I saw an interview today on the news about Oakland crime, and Channel 2 or whatever guy went to them. He's like, hey, police, we need the police. We need the police you guys doing a good job. Just please come out. And I was like, oh, we need the police now, huh? No second order thinking.
Yeah. When they said defund the police, that was a second order thinking. You wasn't thinking about where we at, what context, how many people are there, what kind of systems out there. You got to think about once you make this decision, what is the impact of this decision going out in the real world and what are the effects it's going to have? Even the response, the opposite response. Police, we need you. How do you know what the effects of that, right? At the end of the day, second order thinking says you have to think past your impulsive belief. Let me add another layer to this second order thinking real quick as we go into this. Rebellions. Listen to this real quick. Write this down if you can. Rebellions. Rebellions is not doing the opposite of the herd. A is not the opposite. A and B are not different variables. They're the same. B only exists because they're A, meaning that if you do this and then I do this in response, you're just a copy of you're just the opposite side of the same coin. A and B are the same thing because all your actions are based upon A. What you want to learn how to do is learn how to exist beyond there in a space of there's no A or B. In spite of. How do you move in spite of? If you learn this shit, this is a powerful ass strategy game. That means if somebody makes a move against you and you feel a blow, you don't give a direct response or non-response. You have a third level strategy that you implement. If you do something, don't put your response of, I made this decision, so it's going to either be A or B. If I made this decision, what are all the possibilities? And some won't fall in A and B. This is why you can't scale by yourself, because second order thinking is a law that says you can't scale by yourself because your brain can't see the different variables, all those variables. Even in chess, they only see like 2 or 3 moves. What chess is a positioning game. It's not a multiple move game. They learn moves, right? But after a while, it's like, it's not strong enough. Chess masters will tell you, when I'm playing chess, I'm positioning myself I'm playing optionality. I'm trying to position myself to give myself the most options possible. That's it. That's the strategy of dominoes I use all the time. That's the strategy of chess. I don't have no 10 moves. That you gonna play this shit, you gonna play this, then I'm gonna play this, and you gonna come around and play this. Fuck is that? People talk like that because we just bullshit you so you think we gods at the table. But we're playing optionality and positioning. Second order thinking says that when you try to be the only one to run an idea or grow an idea, you become the limitation. This is why you need counsel. See this shit? See how cold that Bible was? Keep rolling.
Failing to consider the second and third order effects can unleash disaster.
I promise you this. A lot of the stuff that you experience as systemic racism is second order things that went out of control that some of them intended it to be, not intended to be. So, for example, there are land laws that were created to keep black people away from white people that now is fucking up the capitalistic system. That they had no idea to think about that. Some people thought, okay, so the momentum of gentrification from Oakland was rolling, right? COVID happened. Now, this homelessness crisis was not part of the prediction. There's just second order thinking. It's so crazy. The bigger the challenge, the more complex your team needs to be. Will you always get it right? No, but you need to be able to have looking for signs and cues to know when to pivot as quick as possible. I'm teaching you hardcore strategy now. This is hardcore business strategy every day you make every day. Second order thinking is like I use that shit like a science. Next slide. Go ahead.
When people did not consider the effects of the effects.
So when you don't consider the effects of the effects, go ahead.
When they tried to do something good or even just benign and instead brought calamity.
So real quick. Shakina probably been attacked by me the most for this one. I can think of, because Shakina was very optimistic. And then you know what it feels like when somebody tells you when you're happy and you do something nice, that's trash. That's what you go. Remember Corey said the other day, I'm excited and I show up tonight and I'm like, oh, da, 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 and I'm like, yeah, but did you do this? And he's like, damn, dude, that's kind of trash. How you just gonna steal the moment from me, right? Because my brain automatically goes to second order thinking. Like, yeah, it's great in initiation, but cause and effect, what the fuck does that mean? You remember that story when they were dealing with a lot of rats or snakes, one or two, in India? And they said, oh, snakes. And they told them, if you bring us the tail of a snake, we'll pay you money for it. Huh? Oh, yeah, cobras. If you bring us the tail of a cobra, we'll pay you for it. And all of a sudden, the government's like, what in the fuck are they finding these cobras? We thought they had this many, but this shit seems crazy. They start breeding cobras. They realize, wait a minute, I'm trying to get paid, right? A good act can go real bad if you get this. This is what nonprofits fuck up. Or this is why nonprofits fuck up all the time. We're going to go in with the idea of singularity because we're going to save the people, and they don't use second order thinking. And they go in there and they start doing these different things and realize, oh shit. Or let me give you a deeper level of second order thinking. You go into a corporate office and you're dealing with a professional, corporate professional, a rich person, a disciplined person, a mathematical person. And you do something that you've done amongst the commoners that works all the time. And you do it for them and the shit goes in a whole different direction. This is why when you meet people, you don't come with singularity as a policy. You may have this idea, this is how we show up to you, but know as the people who are actually on the front line performing the job, they have to be able to read the people they're showing up for because everybody's not gonna receive the same message. And so you may do something that starts off in a good space and becomes a horrible nightmare. Have you ever did something for one of your rich clients and had a great response, but then did the same thing for one of your partners who couldn't pay no money and become a nightmare for you? That's second order thinking not working. If you use second order thinking and get out of your fucking emotions, so you hear what I want you to come back to this thing, fuck your emotions thing. I'm trying to give you a game. Because your emotions will have you just thinking about your moral feelings, not realizing you're not really helping people, you're fucking them up. Y'all heard a story about white folks who are doing the best, good people. These are some good white people, right? Daddy said these are some good white people. So these are some good white people, they fly over to Africa and they go to feed this particular group of people. They're doing good. But when they leave, they didn't realize they destroyed the economic system because the black people got used to this free food that kept coming. And so the stores shut down. So when they leave, thousands of people die because it takes time long to get the food back online. Sometimes they can stay too long, they forget the system they were using to keep them survive, and they die out of chaos. So although you were doing good, my mentor told me a long time ago, if I see someone on the streets, I'm walking down the streets with my son or daughter, and guy goes, can I get $1? You give it to him? I was like, yeah. He goes, nah. So he goes, I'm never going to send a message to my son, you get paid for doing nothing. I say, shit. Who thinks about that? Second order thinkers move so different than the rest of y'all because they're calculating 2-3 steps, the effects of the effects. Many of y'all are just caught up in what you felt, what you wanted to do, why you thought it was a good idea. And you can't do this alone. Mashama thinks so different than me. I can say A and they can't be like, no, it's J. What the fuck? What? And then when he explains, I'm like, oh, that was fucking brilliant. I never saw J there. Right? And sometimes we come together and somehow we'll land on Q. Because our ideas came together and we got another variable that we didn't even see until our differences came in the room and started to share the ideas and mix the ideas together. We done produced Q? This is crazy. Some of y'all got egos so fucking big you'll never get past A. A. Your business small. Your money small. You broke as hell. Okay. Where we at?
Very often, the second level of effects is not considered until it's too late.
Till it's too late.
This concept is often referred to as the law of unintended consequences.
You can
for
do
this
things in
very reason.
society and you get unintended consequences. Which, let's be very clear what that means. I intended it to be this way. I didn't intend for that to happen. This happens all the time. This ain't something that happens once in a while. I promise you, there's rules. If you went to work for court, Shakina, tomorrow, and you'll go in there and you'll just start moving in space. So this would be a good idea. And they're like, no, you can't do it that way. No, you can't do it this way. No, that ain't gonna never work. And you're like, don't work. That seems counterintuitive. When you walk into another culture, let's say you come from East Oakland and you go to LA, you're like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do what we did in East Oakland. No. Okay, let me help you out in business, because some of y'all don't like to hear this deep shit. You do a festival up in Oakland and you pop it. And then you decide you want to go to Seattle with the same products because everybody's welcoming you, and you are trash. You didn't think about nothing. You just thought about what you want to do and not think about second order thinking. Second order thinking, now you see what kind of brain power you have to use to be in business. You have to think about the effects of the effects. I do this all day. I could do this shit. This is what I like to do. My wife comes to me about second order thinking all the time. She would say, hey, I was thinking about this. What do you think? I said, well, you got this, you got this, you got that. I'm banking on these patterns here. You're probably closer to this one here. I would pay attention. If you see this happen, you're probably closer to this. Check in. If this doesn't happen, then assume that you can assume over here. Now you start to hear the strategy talk that you guys came to class for. I'm not gonna give you a strategy because there's no such fucking thing as stupid. But if you learn second order thinking, now you learn how to think very strategical, which is the effects of every decision you make. Go ahead. Can we get too big? Can you get a microphone? Like too big MC?
I think this is so interesting because as you describe this, I'm very good at second order thinking as a parent. And as in my career too, I'm wondering why this translates so well, why you think this translates so well in certain areas, but it's a struggle translating into entrepreneurship.
So I'll question the parent part. I want to challenge that, but you don't have the time for that one. Work tells you fuck your emotions, right? A lot of times when we move in society, we start telling these stories to ourselves. So when you're at work, you're not telling, I'm going to stamp this paper because when I was a child, my mother never let me use a stamp. We don't say that. We just stamp the paper. That's what I was trained to do. So you become a cog in the system. So your second order thinking is safe because it's operating in a space of I'm doing work for others. You know why many of y'all fucked up? This is real talk. This is a side note. You know why many of y'all really, really fucked up? Because you think about yourself too much. A lot of y'all suffer from depression, all these emotional issues you having, all this, as a man, as a woman, as a gender, stop thinking about yourself so fucking much. You're fucking overwhelmed with yourself. You're not. If you want to be happier, think about others a little bit more. Right? So, but when you're in the real world, your stories are being birthed. You start to stimulate stories, right? And as you start to stimulate stories, it starts to corrupt your second order thinking because really you're responding to a story, not what's in front of you. And it's like, let's go back to when you were starting your business, right? Could anybody feel her passion when she was talking about her business, when she was trying to do what she was doing? Did y'all feel how thick her passion was? That was your blind spot right there. I'm feeling, this is, I like the hood. I'm comfortable. This is what Did anybody want to jump in the middle of that? It's too much. Your passion is another deterrent from feedback. Because at the end, everybody loves you. Like, by the way, I really do love you, and my birthday's coming September 28th. Please don't mess with my cake. Be very clear. I know. Like if it comes down to it, fuck everything I just said. But look at me. My kid, that cake is so goddamn good. I woke up last night talking about, my birthday's almost here. Y'all, if y'all ever have her cake, that shit's real, man. Those of y'all at home never had her cake, I really feel fucking sorry for you. Yeah, that cake is so like, and I hate alcohol in my cake, but somehow she figured that shit out, and that shit just be talking to you. And I don't drink any alcohol, wine. I don't give no sippy, nothing. I'm good. No hard drinks, no vodka, no whiskey. I say I drink whiskey if you keep talking to me. I'll be like, I drink whiskey, leave me the fuck alone. But I don't drink nothing. Her shit though. She created those flavor, and that alcohol just does a twist, because you ain't no alcohol. If you don't eat her cake trying to get high, you kind of weird. But her cake she got those flavors balanced like, ooh, she is the Messiah cakes. Anyway, so I don't need to think, I got faith. Anyway, so let me just say real quick. But your passion made you lose your ability to have second order thinking, and we saw it. But it's like, you can't touch it. It's too much. It's like you threaten because what we're used to experiencing is that when you walk into somebody's passion, you walk into their religious moment. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I never argue religion with anybody. When Pastor Chris, there's been a couple times I disagree with Pastor Chris on something religious. I'm not gonna have that conversation on his religion. First of all, who am I to have a conversation? Let me be very clear, right? Number two, that man's walking by faith. Number three, I do judge him by his results, and his results are amazing. So at that point, I got no comments. I'm not about to be policing that man's action. That's kind of awkwardly weird too. Like, I need to be like, somebody needs to sit down and be like, bro, why are you watching him like that? Pause. So anyway, so going by second order thinking. Second order thinking, you really have to turn your emotions down, because you can't see two layers if you're heavy emotions. If you really want something to work really bad, you're very passionate. If it's a religious experience for you, if you realize you can't turn your energy down, you're probably moving in a religious pattern. So if you realize, like, I just really can't think past this. Like, if you like, I tell you the coldest religious. This is when we all can witness this. Anybody remember when somebody was doing multi-level marketing? And it was in that religious, like, hypnotized space? You can't. They're religious. They're. I promise you, if you go through this roughness, I will deliver you to this. See this car? This is the afterlife of performing success. You see where I'm going with this? Who in this room want to jump in the middle of that conversation? No. Go ahead. Turn it on. Here, just grab that microphone. Scott, you turn them all up? They all up? Oh. Okay.
Maybe it's batteries.
So, it's really funny. Today is a really great class, and I've done hella MLMs. And it made me think, with today's class, when you were talking about making things our gods, and I've absolutely made my business my God, because I don't really know how else to treat it. It is my survival. It is my lifeline. It is how I feed, it's how I connect to people. It's absolutely my God. I can acknowledge that. And I wouldn't say for me that MLM was all bad, because it taught me a lot of really dope things, of lessons to take away. You can't stand me. Look, somebody got to lead and somebody got to follow. Anyways, so.
See, you know the rules. You understand me? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know the rules.
Got to be on top. No,
Some people want to be pinned.
right.
I told you, some people want to be pinned.
Hey, I look here. I'm not going down this rabbit hole, because I'm at the bottom.
Look. Okay, look, we ain't having this conversation. What I was trying to say was.
I just play. Those at home, please don't let me trigger you. So anyway, go ahead. He'd be fragile ass. You said that it is triggered. Oh my fucking God! As you listen to NWA in the background. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yes, a whole bunch of really crappy stuff. I think, like everything in life, there are learning opportunities for you to be able to take away some things. And so, like, for example, and I do. I'll make the statement saying that I understand that I'm probably not seeing things I can guarantee I'm not seeing the full picture because I have positioned my business as my God. So I can acknowledge starting there. Some of the positive things that I've felt that I've taken away from experience that I would consider inferior helped me to build a business where I could get other people to follow me, where I could get people to buy into a story, where I could get people to move a product, buy into
Singularity.
an idea. Now, where my curiosity peaks with that is everything that we follow as humans is based on a story. And there's all different kinds of stories. Our race, our identity, our religion, our states, our style, they're all based on stories. And so you get the cool points for having more people buy into your story. Hopers, we're a story. United States, we're a story. Black, we're a story. Is there a level of, it's kind of like you got to know the game you're playing, but you still play the game, but you know the rules. What's the healthy space of, I have to have a storyline for people to follow along to so that I can even create a structure to have optionality and to scale it if there's nothing tangible that's anchoring it. I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, and dance with me. So if I'm off, like, no, move to the left. You're off rhythm. Treat me like a Josh. Okay, so, so go back to the streets. Can't get high off your own supply. In business, we know there's systems that work, but you got to know the difference between making Disney movies and believing Disney's real. I think where we go wrong is we start to believe Disney's real as we're making the movie, and then we don't know how to separate ourselves from that space, and we overcommit. Then we start making horrible decisions because we really bought into a caricature, as opposed to realizing that no, we are the director of a system. If you create Great America, you know you're falsifying emotional experiences. It's that you got to be able to step outside of it to even oversee it to make it stay true. If you get to the point that you buy into it, you actually underserve it because now you're really just, what do you say? I'm not only a salesperson, but I'm a client. You get to the point where you're no longer valuable to the institution. So when this becomes a religion for you, feedback sucks. Because a religion for you, you can't let go to grab the next level on the climb. Like you just hold on to that same rock and you're praising and you're so busy talking about how great it is that I got here. Even when you said earlier, MSM taught me a lot. Is that the only way you can learn the same things? No. So why do we even try to drag it forward when it's trash? Everybody know, in this class, everybody should know multi-level marketing is trash. If you call me afterwards and say, no, I'm trying to sell this product and it's multi-level marketing, just know, hang up because I'm going to call you trash and hang up in your face. So just hang up first. But multi-level, so when we try to bring forth trash ideas, the problem with that, the danger of that is that as things get more and more complex, you're not developing the learning skills to deal with the complexity. Because remember, the friction that you're going through and the growth you go through permits you to have the next level. But you continue to try to hold on those elementary ideas because you have these emotional ties, these stories you tell yourself, you're no longer qualified to even manage your own business. You're actually just an employee in your own business. That's why you can't grow it, because you can't see the lay of the land. You're just stuck in trying to do a good job. Like there's some invisible supervisor watching going, I will bless you, my child, every time you do a good job. Bless you. And you couldn't be like, hey, Nana, I got a blessing today. I did a good job at work. And I'd be like, that was trash. See, you think you got this old blasphemy, old diva devil, you coming. That's your brain does that without those words. It literally does that because I just betrayed your religious experience. The reason you have to make that serious separation stops you from making this shit personal. If Shakina was really successful at her gym, she wouldn't give a fuck about her gym like that. She would see it as you're plugging this thing into a system and you're managing its growth. When you start romanticizing everything, you can't grow it. You just can't. It's not possible. I love 510 Media, but 510 Media is not for me. It's not part of me. It is something I'm building that has bigger feet. Okay, I want Hope to grow at some point, right? That means I won't be teaching at all. That means I gotta trust. Let's say if I brought in Tone Vic's way younger version of this, right? I'm not sure how often Tone Vic practices or whatever, but Tone Vic, if the student's responding and he gives him the 20% I need him to get, he's perfect. Now, is he a strong teacher as me? No. But if I keep using myself as a religious standard, I can't hire nobody or I destroy all my employees. So at the end of the day, how do I move out of singularity, move out of this romanticized commitment, and realize, yo, use my second order thinking, if I do this, then where will this get me? Oh shit, this would actually blow it up. Oh yeah, nobody know my name anymore. No one even come checking for me anymore. I walk into a grocery store and they would just think I'm a human being. Where right now, you walk into a grocery store, everybody, oh, there's the girl from Pinpoint. That'll go away. But now your securities just went up. And now you're doing some other shit in your life. You moved on to the next goal in your life, whatever next part of your journey, right? But a lot of times the over religious commitment to where we are keeps us stuck in where we are. To leave that's why so many people, if anybody watch entrepreneurs as they grow, when they want to move on to the next level, they start to trimmer. They're like, I don't want to move. Because they're on this religious journey. But if you're doing business, going back to green lumber fallacy, I don't know anything about green lumber. I know business though. I know commodities. I know how to move commodities in the market. I know how to run a business successfully. And realistically, the reason you don't see high rises, because we're all having a religious journey. We're not running businesses. Running a business, like I can let go all of my feelings as long as it aligns with customers. If my business was all people I'm not usually used to hanging around, but it serves the market, that's what they're asking for, and I hit that market angle, me and Mashama make that move. That's what we'll do. Because it's not about, if I keep trying to stay true to myself, I'm not serving anybody besides myself. And so when it's religious for you, then you're selfish, you're narcissistic about your business, because at the end of the day you think about, what does this mean to me? And now that personal energy throws you out of whack in your hanging out, communication, engagement with other people, because it's too personal now. If I say, hey, Shakina, your doors and your windows suck. You know what you just heard? You suck. That's what you heard. You try it like you didn't hear it, but that's what you heard.
A few years ago, yes. I will say that, so I've had to expand my team a lot in the last 6 months. And it made me realize how fragile my business was because of me. And so I've had to downsize my spotlight. And even like in planning, like how we do our social posts and stuff, like scheduling, like, hey, this is when all the trainers are going to come in. What are you guys strong at? What do you want to do? Like really just trying to take a step back and see people, because I'm human and I get tired. And when I get tired, shit gets slack. And if everything is relying on me, then it's a problem. So trying to figure out how to share the space so that I can see more and hear more.
Okay, so I'm sorry for this, because my brain is so fast. It's just, that's why sometimes I talk too damn fast. You contradicted yourself.
Okay.
Nana, today I see myself, my business is a religion. I'm not like that anymore. What it is, you just can't see it anymore.
Okay.
2, remember I said, if you see China, this is last class, but think about how your lenses see China, which then creates a bias of China, right? You may be turning your people into disciples, not employees. You may be holding them to expectations that are false. You may have expectations for your gym that are false. You may even feel sensitive to a space where you're avoiding certain conversations because of the way you frame your business. It is not, if you say I see my business as a religion, which most people, thank you for being honest, because I think if more people were just fucking honest, this conversation would be really dope. And I think this conversation is hella dope. Then as far as you can see, this is the answer. I think what the answer you could have gave that could be accurate. As far as I can see, I think I've changed. But earlier you also said, I don't know if what I'm doing is working or not. You see that? Mm-hmm. But you see the confidence on the other side, which is a distraction. Okay, you might say, Nana, you're small in words. No, I'm not. When I think and talk, I move like that because I realize I'm thinking about my biases and my limitations. So I might say something like, hey, as far as I know and what I think I do, and help me understand if I'm wrong, I think I do this. I don't say, no, that's who I used to be, but, because that's too conclusive, which leaves no room for feedback for the people that are talking to you. And two, it's also trapping you in your own thoughts. You're victimizing yourself. Ain't got really nothing to do with me, it's really you. So if you've already said, I don't really see my actions and my business is a religion to me, that means you have a pile of biases in a bag you can't see because you don't know that's a thing yet. So in your discovery, you don't realize, oh shit, this is a thing too? Fuck, I really like this thing. You guys get what I'm going with this? Like when the shit's religious to you, it's almost like you increase your biases tenfold and you have no access to them. Because you're gonna have to learn how to tell yourself a story outside of the religion. And when you reframe the business, you're gonna start seeing, it's almost like someone will change your lenses, you'll be like, oh shit, this is my shit? I ain't talking about the cleanliness because your place is super clean. We ain't talking about that kind of stuff, right? We're talking about you'll look at systems and be like, ugh, this is our marketing, ugh. But if you, for example, when I taught you guys the religious argument about a lot of people make you religious promises, you should be able to see a lot of ads pop to your mind like, oh shit, this ad, that ad, this ad, that ad. Damn, everybody be promising all this religious journey stuff. But if you don't dig reality, and it's a religion for you, you can't see it because you're in the religion. It doesn't translate to you. When Court talked about earlier how, you build these businesses and you sell these stories to people and you numb this idea so you can provide them with this product, right? If you don't know that's a thing, then you don't know if not you're doing that, or if it is or not, if it is or if it's not necessary. You won't even know how to weigh that. So really, it's just kind of it's an act of assumptions. So now you're not even using first person thinking. You're just assuming. And they go, how you doing your business? I'm running it. Well, how do you know you're running it? Because you took all your assumptions and kept yourself busy. Doesn't mean you ran your business. You wasn't running from, so watch this. Listen to this language. You're not running from a space of hypothesis. You're running from a space of assumptions. Be very clear about this. You're not running from a space of hypothesis. You're running from a space of assumption. Hypothesis, you sat down, you made an educated guess, and you're testing. Assumptions is like, yeah, this is what works. This is good. This is a good idea. This is what I've seen people do. This is what people usually do. This is what I heard. This is what I feel. This is what I thought. This is what I believe. This is what worked. Look, every time I did it, it worked like last 12 times. That's all assumption game. And you can be busy in assumptions and never actually run your business well because you never learned the art of hypothesis.
Can I get some?
Yeah.
I want to add this is you also have to be conscious about how you see yourself in the business. You got to take yourself out as the hero of the business. Mm-hmm. So if you say, yeah, I get tired, and if I'm not doing it, ain't nothing that gonna happen. That's a clue that you positioned yourself as the hero, and you've brought in employees to be kind of your minions to help you, because I'm the superhero of this story, and then y'all gotta fill in where I can't. But building your business model out, you're building it to remove yourself from any way. So it has to be built in a way that says, man, if I want to stay home 3 weeks, then the business can run because I built it that way. And I'm not the hero. I'm just a person who's playing a strategic game and growing this business. And I'm filling in the voids until I can find someone who can fill those spaces. So
in that conversation, the book we read like a year or two ago, the E-Myth. You remember how like in the beginning it talked about we are at the beginning when we're starting a business there, you've got your company map and most of the times there's one or two people in there filling all the roles. So that had been my company for years. And then I broke several times. And then I started off small thinking that, I just needed to tape and fix this fracture. So let me add a person. Then I realized that adding the people wasn't the thing. It was just a broken system. And I'm not saying I'm arrived or that I know the answers because I don't whatsoever. I'm in a discovery mode now of realizing that the way that I've been running my business is not sustainable, and it has absolutely nothing to do with me. And so I'm trying to figure out how to re-leverage the story that people have bought into about Pinpoint and figure out how do I not get people to fall in love with the people, like the individual trainers or the team, because everybody can come and go, including me, but more so what we want to represent for the impact. And I don't know if that's the right road, but I'm in the process of trying to rediscover what that could possibly look like.
So let me ask you what he said when he said you're getting the people to fill the space that you did. Usually, you and the other person did all this time. You're just really getting them to fill that space for you, right? Mm-hmm. So they just really labor force, but they're not really another copy and paste or a better version or a different variation of you. They're labor. They're not counsel, mm-hmm. right? Okay, so let me help you kind of dig a little deeper with that point. The things you're trying to figure out can be solved with a counsel.
Okay.
If you isolate yourself as a hero, you're going to always be stuck in these spaces, and somehow you just go back to do what just makes you comfortable. If you don't have somebody can come to you and be like, I think you're wrong, you'd be like, damn, what do you think I'm doing wrong? Because you respect them just as much as they respect you, and it's like you have these counsel people. Or you can even be your employees. Like, for example, if I go to Danielle by Designs, she's a leader in designs. I run the company, but she's a leader in designs. So I can go to her and be like, yo, I think this is a bad idea. And she'll be like, well, let me give you some insights. I'm listening to her like a council member. I'm not listening to her as an employee like, yeah, but do what I asked you to do because this is what works best, right? Or I devalue her that I don't really hear her voice. So then I'm losing because it's really about, I'm still the superhero in that story. Now, this is where it gets really complex. You got to have people close enough to see your interaction to be able to say, hey, I know you think you're sharing this space with this person. You're doing a horrible job. Because to share that space from for our community, we don't really know what the fuck that is. We're used to being, if it's gonna be done, I'm gonna do it myself. Especially black women, y'all some badass cats, right? And a lot of times y'all had to save the motherfucking world, the whole black community, right? But the reality is that, and even in my own house, my wife does that shit. I fix it. I'm like, what the fuck you mean you fix it? You got 4 other people in this house. You don't ask these other motherfuckers to help out? What the fuck wrong with you? I said, let me do this. Hey, everybody, get your ass up. Come over here, help me. You do this, you do that, you do this. Hey, you know who knows how to do this best? Okay, we should do it this way. Okay, fine. You take lead on that. I'm gonna follow you. And all of a sudden, I got this system rolling in the house, right? Because even when somebody who's a hero, they think I need to dictate to everybody what they need to do. Everybody follows my rules, and then I measure the outcome. With me, because I'm not on a power trip, I don't give a fuck. I care about one thing: end results. So in results, if I call you into my space, okay. Remember the other day, you said something, you was helping me do something. Frames. I asked you to help me with some frames. And I went to interrupt you, and I knew I was right, but you snapped on me. And I said, fuck that shit. We're done if I just stay the fuck out of this. I didn't care if I was right or wrong. I realized if she get this shit finished, I just double check on the back end, and it's done. Me arguing with you is not productive for me. I don't give a shit about who takes his lead here. I give a shit that is done, right? So even in my company, I'm trying this new thing where Mashama or Danielle takes lead, and I fall back, and then I take an analysis role, and then I just upload analysis every once in a while. Because in the end, I don't care what is the best system for me to win at all costs, right? But when you're a hero, you don't. That's just, you don't know how to do that shit. You just don't know how to do that shit. You don't have to sit down and be like, hey, listen, Shabisha, what do you think? And let her go on for 15 minutes with noise and then finally give you that jewel. You're like, that's what I wanted to hear. Thank you. And I don't tell her that last thing you said. I'd be like, yo, thank you for everything you just said. Even though I took that last thing she said. Because then I know how to extract, I know how to aggregate, I know how to extract really, really well, because at the end of the day, I can change that humility we talk about. I can go straight humility to the point that you'll think I don't even exist. If somebody walk in the office and be like, yo, Scott, I heard you the head of 510 Media, and I'm looking at the numbers about to come in. Yep, Scott's the head of 510 Media. I talked to Scott, I coach him through the process. But Scott, you need to be head of 510 Media that day. Yeah. I mean, I'm not even playing switching from hero to leadership role and being religious is kind of like oxymoron. It's like, it's just almost can't be done. You got to almost, if you're more strategically goal oriented, like I'm trying to move to space and I got to figure out the best system to get me there. And if I need my quarterback to be a wide receiver and my running back to be a quarterback, I will do it. And that's gonna give me a problem. But if you're religious, you kind of fall in love with the structure of the game, and not realize that all these parts can move, don't matter. And that means you got to have people around you that you're willing to surrender to get there. If you're too busy trying to defend, you'll never see that shit. You'll think you see it, you'll never see it. It's not possible. Because trust me, Mashama checks me on some shit all the time, and I'll be like, I don't get where he's going, and I'm just gonna sit and write this out and see where he's going. And then sometimes I even wait 2 or 3 days before I even respond because I'm like, let me just process this because it shouldn't make no sense. But I believe in Mashama. He puts the work in. He's qualified to play at this table. This cat called me right now. I believe in court. I bet on court. I bet on Pastor Chris. I bet everybody in my circle I will bet on. If they call me, I'm like, what? I will say, hey, I don't understand right now, but let me hear that. And if it requires for me to do something, when I changed his logo, he trusted me. He trusted me. He didn't come to me and say, no, I'm going to change my logo, man. And I was like, yo, just trust me, Corey. Let me fuck with you. He trusted me. He took a subordinate position with me, temporary. Now, mind you, I'm not, he runs his company. He's the god of his company. I'm not trying to say he's the head of his company. But he trusted the process and let the process unfold and just sit back and see where it goes. Because in the end, he wants more sales. He likes his personal logo, his original logo, but if it ain't getting him sales, he can give a fuck. But with you, when it's religious, you would never do that. Oh shit, no. Whew. That would be like pulling teeth because it feels like I'm removing your organs. And that's why it has to get to the point where you're not doing business if it's personal. I'm just gonna keep it serious. You're not doing business as personal. You just act like you're in a club, trying to protect your status. If it's personal, there's no way we can do business. It's not possible. Shabishi, you had a question? Huh?
I did, but now I'm not so sure. I would have to stumble through it.
Oh, you said, well, shit, you snooze, you lose. Go ahead.
Explain that last line for me, please.
Okay. Business is an external journey that detaches itself from your past. There's a part of you in it, but you're not leading with a lot of stories of self. And it's an outer body experience, meaning that you're constantly in transformation to become something else. You're never over leveraging who you are. The only time you look back is to change lanes, but you don't stay in the rearview mirror and keep telling old stories. This is where I've always done it. This is what makes me, this is where I come from. This, as a black person, is this, you looking forward going, I'm about to take a journey and I don't know where the fuck I'm going to end up. I might end up on the opposite road and be like, I had no idea I'd be over here. That's what business really is. When it's about status, this is what most entrepreneurs shit that black people talk in our community, we talking status talk. We ain't talking business. That's why everybody's so sensitive. Nobody wants to hear no advice. Everybody know what they're doing. Everybody gonna figure it out. Because again, I need to be the hero of this story when it's all said and done. I need to feel like I did a good job. I need to feel like that at the end of the day, I'm just as smart as the rest of you motherfuckers. I need to feel like I'm somebody. That ain't got shit to do with business. None of all that shit is disruptive. When I'm moving in business, I'm thinking like this: how do I get from point A to point Z? And what changes do I need to make that doesn't compromise our very core morals and values?
Hey, let me jump. Can I?
Yeah.
And even if we think about the whole God complex, if you really look at God, if we in the form of what religion and whoever has instituted, everything that we've learned about God equals free will for humans. He architected the situation, or she architected the situation, the earth. But we have the absolute free will to do whatever we want to do in every moment. Now, there's guides and religions and paths that are blatant in front of us that we can take. that says you can have a better life if you do this, and there's rewards on the other end. But today, you got the choice to do whatever the fuck you want. You can pray, or you can kill, or you can do everything in the middle. Because as an architect, you got to sit back and let the world be free and make their decisions. I think what sometimes we do is worse than that. It's worse than that. We try to control so hard the outcomes in other people that's what ends up fucking our business up and destroying our business. It's not the second order thinking of things and saying, oh, what will happen if this happens? Let me position this, and then there's 2 or 3 paths. Let me create those paths, and then let me have answers on the outside of those that either lead them back to the beginning or destroy them off or whatever. But instead, we want to be in control. You're going to singularity. This is what you're going to do, and this is the end, and you're going to do it. And that's how we get fucked up.
So some of the best people that will bring your company knowledge, you don't even know where the fuck it's coming from. I've had some of the greatest knowledge delivered to me from people I least expected, right? Even Mashama was nothing like me. All right, you would say that, right? We're different kind of men. Like, I mean, he may have grew more like me, but in the beginning, he was really not like me.
I was going to say, y'all are becoming.
Yeah, we're coming closer. Yeah, that's fair. But in the beginning, we were really different, right?
Yeah.
But his differences was fucking crazy enlightening for me. I didn't, and yet, when it's status, I'm not going to listen to him. I'm listening to him as long as it fits what I want to do. But but if it's for business, I'm going to look at the data. What's possible? I'll test it. Like, if I'm in a meeting with you and Kaja right now, and we're going back and forth on ideas, and I land on this idea really strong, you land on your idea very strong, and Kaja land on her idea very strong, and we look at it, I can't really discredit your ideas, but they're great hypotheses. I just feel like mine is better. I'm going to test all 3 ideas. They all get equal treatment. I don't give a shit about my idea like that. And if Kaja's idea works, we're going to run that idea hard. Because in the end, I care about moving the company, not me being, okay, in business, you know how we have to always position yourself to always be smart, always be the intelligent one, always be the one who can solve all the problems? Not me. I will play dumb in a minute. I'll take the dumb role in a minute. I'm not playing dumb. I often am, in some places, dumb. But guess what? Those ignorant moments allow me to learn, so I get excited by being ignorant. I get excited about somebody being smarter than me in roles. There's things about core business I don't even talk to him about because he's way too advanced in spaces. If I call him, I'm calling him to ask questions. And if I decide, which I'm never going to do, but if I decide to get into retail, I'll be at Court and Shabisha house every day. They'd be so tired of me. They'd be thinking, you act like you never taught this class before. That's not the point. I don't give a shit about status. I care about growing my company. Even in the beginning of your company, a lot of times you don't take that much money and you're paying your employees well. You broke as fucking your employees talking about, yeah, we just got back from Cancun. You're like, yeah, I just got back from East Oakland. What the fuck you talking about? Yeah. Right? I mean, my status look like trash. Now, when it pops off, you're getting paid the most. But what sacrifices are you making? What sacrifices you can't make because your status got you fucked up? Can you position your employees greater than you? That shit is almost impossible in black businesses. Even knowing that, okay, you ever seen another race hire a few of us and they take our little wild behavior and make that shit work hella tight? And you're like, damn, they got like 4 dudes down there that I would never hire, but them motherfuckers are performing. Because they're not singular. They're like, okay, well, let me see. Would you work here? Okay, cool. You'll work here. As long as you hit these numbers here. My mentor was like that. My mentor would hire professionals and crackheads and be killing it, developing houses all over the place. Because he knew what they were really good at and what they can deliver on. And if you ask him to go outside, I remember one time I come in, I'm like, yo, we should have him do this. He's like, he only does that. Why? That man's on crack. You get him over there, he'll get smoked out. He'll never be back. And he was working with crackheads, homeless people, and his business was performing at top-notch level because he didn't move in a way of belief, singularity. That's the only way it could be done. He saw the, and you have to almost ask, like, I have to believe that somebody like Pastor Chris has to be strong in this area because his variations of people he deal with every day is just insanely huge. So if he just gets used to something he likes, it is dangerous to his survival. He has to learn how to be so flexible and move and adaptable. Here's a good dope concept, and then I'm gonna close out this class. Don't plan, master reaction. Don't plan, doesn't mean that you don't plan, but some of us leverage planning too strong.
Oh, master reaction.
Master
Got it.
reaction, because tomorrow ain't no fucking, you don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. If shit changed, master the art of reaction. Learn how to think so fast that you have second order things. You learn so many different effects, you know how to move. So if I'm planning on going here, right? I'm gonna move this way. So I have loose plans. I'm gonna go here, here, and here. But when shit shifts, you ever see water when it goes down a hill, it goes over obstacles and goes this way, right? It's reacting. And guess what it does? It still achieves its plan. Some of y'all get so planned, you become singular and you get stuck at the first obstacle because it asks you to change. And you're like, I can't do that. See the difference? Master the game of reaction. Mentors, another one of my Christian friends came out of the house yesterday and he gave me a little Christian, I'm gonna close out this little religious saying he said to me that was tight as hell. This is my last statement for the night. And he said this. He said, hold on a second. He said, here we go. Where we at? Okay, 1 second. Oh, okay. He said, money is a good tool, but it makes a horrible God. With that being said, have a good night. Out.